Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost thousands of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0. Listen to Bridget's story after losing 55 pounds and using her insurance for coverage.
LifeMD helped me get covered with my insurance. Finding out that it was covered was huge. I've lost 55 pounds. I am so much healthier now that I've lost the weight. I would never be able to do it without them.
Get started today and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0 at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, welcome back to another Thursday night. I feel like I've been waiting for this for at least a week. It's been a long time. A lot has happened the last week. Eager to see everybody, but also very excited just to hang out with my buddy Will for a couple hours. Will, welcome. How we doing? Other than muting entirely. That's all right. We didn't need to hear you.
Well, I didn't do it. You did it.
I did not do anything of the sort.
I've been waiting 4 weeks for this. That's what I was trying to say.
That's true. It's been a busy month for you. How'd the convention go?
Busy month. Really well. Went to Carolina Fear Fest as a representative of Severin Films, along with our buddy John Daly, who was representing TerrorVision, and we shared a booth, and people were very excited. You can see on social media, Instagram and Facebook and stuff, we got interviewed by a couple podcasts. Not a lot of boutique labels at this particular convention. And yeah, everyone was really excited, and we did some pretty steady business, sold a lot of stuff. I can tell you right now, Nail Gun Massacre and Spider Labyrinth went off the shelf really, really great. And the celebrity guests were fantastic. In fact, well, I'll show you. I got Malcolm McDowell to sign my copy of Deaf Crocodiles, The Assassin of the Tsar.
Pretty damn rad.
He was so surprised when he saw it that he kept me there for like 10 minutes to talk about the thing. Let's see. Oh, I saw a question about the top sellers. It was real strange. You know, we had a very eclectic inventory. I think for both Severin, it was the first time they'd ever been there, and TerrorVision was kind of trying it again just to see what the sales would be like. So, you know, we had some Dario Argento and Lucio Fulci stuff that sold out immediately. We had some of those out of print, Four Flies on Gray Velvet 4Ks, and those were gone first day.
Nice.
But also Tracy Lords was at the con, and so we had some copies of Skinner and made a little display, and I encouraged people to take that up for her to sign. To see. So that one sold out. You know, we sold on TerrorVision side. We even sold copies of Gushing Prayer, which should be selling really well because it's a great movie. Yeah, so it was just a lot of cool stuff. And probably the highlight for me, and hopefully for John too, was we interviewed the most legendary Tromette of all Tromettes, Tiffany Shepis.
It's a big deal.
We can't say why yet, but we worked with her for a couple hours, and she was great. Oh, I'll tell one quick story. So we were trying to set up. So the Carolina Fear Fest is in the state fairgrounds, and it's in this huge warehouse where they have livestock competitions. You know, people looking at animals' testicles and stuff. And so we're working with the organizers trying to find a place where we can do the interview. And everything is loud, you know, because it's designed for wild animals, domesticated animals. And we're working on the logistics and everything. And Tiffany very graciously offered to come early on the first day of the con so we could shoot the interviews before everything started. And she just said, well, just come pick me up at the hotel. And I was like, okay. And so I go to the hotel and walk in, and she's just getting a cup of coffee, and I'm like, hey, you know. So, and she's exactly what you think she is, like absolutely kind and funny, but also like super sharp, witty, like cut you down.
Right.
I was transfixed. So I get her into my Subaru Forester, and we're preparing to disembark, and suddenly a hand appears on the window next to Tiffany. I was like, "Oh shit! I'm going to have to defend her from some maniac." But it turned out to be Bill Moseley, who was on a walk, and he's like, "Hey, you know." And I was like, "You're my fave."
What a weird weekend.
Yeah, so we had a nice talk, and Tiffany was great. And Tiffany, by coincidence, has a connection to what's about to happen.
Yeah, we actually had a Tiffany Shepis film get announced this week. We're going to be talking about it tonight during the announcements. It is this ETR media release of Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. You can get this now. The slip's selling very well. Pretty great art on this. I got a lot of compliments all over from people loving this stuff. And out of nowhere, we got asked if we wanted to bring on one of the directors. And the last time you were on, we had a special guest. So why not make it twice in a row? Welcome to the show, Mr. Mark Terry.
What's up, guys? How you doing, Will? How you doing, Ryan? What's up?
Hey, Mark. How's it going?
Good to see you.
I'm doing great. I spoke to Ryan and I spoke to Will. Are we allowed to cuss here? Are we allowed to say whatever we want, or
Fuck yes,
is it wide open? I got some Tiffany Shepis stories too.
Wide open to a point.
Point. Okay. So Tiffany worked with us for one day. Actually, the last day of the old school of the 2009 era of filming, and really nice lady. I mean, I'm so thrilled to see her career kind of move forward, and she's on Star Trek and she's doing all kinds of stuff now, where a lot of these Scream Queens, like I've worked with Debbie Rochon and Brink Stevens, and they kind of hover around, you know, the slasher stuff. And obviously Tiffany's gone well beyond that. So here's the story. And should I tell this story, Ryan? I kind of told you to it on the phone.
I think it's tame enough, yeah.
So I'm sitting, we go to a convention, Will. Fangoria convention. Mm-hmm. And I'm going up the elevator at the LA Convention Center, and I see this guy just like hunched over. And I said, "Hey man, I hope it's going to be busier today than it was yesterday." And he turns around and he just looks tired. And I said, "Yeah, I mean," he says to me, "Yeah, I hope so too." And I looked at him. I knew him. And I go, "Hey, nice to meet you. My name's Mark Terry." And he goes, "Hi, I'm Corey." And I go, "Aim?" Like that, like I didn't even recognize him. And I felt bad.
Oh, no.
And so he sees the shirt that I'm wearing for the movie, and he goes, "Oh, she's in that movie." And he's talking about Tiffany, right? And I'm like, "Oh shit," because I know what, you know, they had been together, and then now they weren't married anymore. And I said, "Yeah, she was great to work with." You know, I'm just you know, buttering her up, saying, you know, she was only there for like half a day. He turns around to me and like the coldest stare goes, Yeah, she's a complete bitch. Oh my God. And I'm like, no, she's nice. We like her. And I'm like, I guess that's what happens after a divorce. But anyway, that's my my little story after the movie. But I like Tiffany. I don't know. Corey Haim, I guess, didn't like her, but it is what it is.
Well, I'd like to say my experience was also, completely the opposite. Quite nice.
She's real short too. I always thought that she'd be like 5'8", 5'9", but she comes in there with those, the real high heels on, and I saw her with the makeup girl when she was working with us, and I was like, wow, I'm shocked. She's so short, but I mean, still a beauty today as much as she's ever been, and I'm real happy for her success, and that's the truth.
Well, speaking of that, your Blu-ray has been fairly successful already this first week. Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. What kind of stuff is on the disc that people can look forward to?
Well, I tell you what, as many of you guys probably know that it originally was titled Live Evil, released through Warner Brothers and Netflix in 2009. There was a gambit of different people who worked on it, who could say that they wrote it or directed it. I'm the only person who was on the entire film the entire time. It's my movie. I own the copyright to it. And I took the better part of kind of the stuff that wasn't used, because we wanted to kind of redo Live Evil, but we couldn't when we got in there. And when we started scanning the film, this took 5 years. Mike Hoffman, who actually directed Girls Gone Dead, which is a fun 2012 movie with Jerry the King Lawler, almost said something else. Jerry the King Lawler and I think Ron Jeremy was in it, but Mike Hoffman did all start doing the restoration, and we kind of started working backwards. So for those who are like cinephiles or into restoration, the Mike Hoffman special feature about film restoration is phenomenal. It's 22 minutes. It's extremely technical, but we got a bunch of other things, including the behind the scenes car chase stuff. Most of the stuff has never been released. So it's not just talking about stuff that happened in 2009 or 2010. This is what has happened since 2017 up to where we're at now. So I tell you what, I can't tell you enough about Mike Hoffman and Sheree Stewart, who basically, and Alex Sarabia, who did the artwork, who made this film come back alive. We shot 20 more days. I mean, we did a ton of stuff to kind of make Live Evil into what it is now, Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter. So there it is.
It's pretty damn cool. You guys worked on the restoration. How'd that go? Well, first, I guess, what did you guys first shoot on?
We shot on Super 16 millimeter. It was my idea to shoot on, and it's probably a dumb idea, but and that's kind of why this film turned out the way it did. It was the film was extremely underexposed, and we shot some 35, but mostly Super 16 on an old junky Eclair camera. And we did some other stuff on 35, like I mentioned, but I would say about 85% of it's up in my closet over there on Super 16. We scanned it all at Ole Miss University, and they let us come in one day, but we realized how damaged it was. I think Mike Hoffman, our editor and restoration guy, his fingers are still hurting from clicking out all the dirt. So this required us, we don't have a time machine. We ended up going back, shooting 20 more days. I directed everything. We had all the returning actors come in and do ADR. I changed the script. I rewrote it backwards based off of what we already had. And man, I just tell you, it's the comic book stuff. Since we don't have a time machine, we started doing animated comic books a la Creep Show. So we did a ton of stuff to kind of make this, I call it like my Snyder cut. It's different. We couldn't redo Live Evil. So we have what we have now, which is Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter, first time ever on Blu-ray.
Pretty cool. Obviously, you got a couple of big names in this. Any major memories from making the movie that you want to share with everybody?
So Tim Thomerson's in it. Tim Thomerson worked for us for 12 days, if you count ADR, 13. Legend. He was 61 at the time when he filmed with us. Love him. I would say this, and this probably wouldn't be very popular. I mean, he's like 79 now. And with all due respect to him, we love him. We love Tim Thomerson. In fact, the reason Mike Hoffman, our editor, got involved is because he's a fan of Tim Thomerson. I don't know at age 79 if Tim Thomerson's going to get back out there and be a lead and swinging swords and kicking ass like he did in Trancers and Doll Man. So I think that this is essentially the respectful, like, this is the ass-kicking Tim Thomerson film that I would always want to see as kind of a send-off. He's not dead. Obviously nothing crazy like that, but this guy needed to be in a lead role, not somebody's uncle, not a sheriff, an ass kicker, and that's what we did with him. Let me give you a quick memory of Thomerson. At the time, I was living in Playa del Rey, and Playa del Rey is right near Marina del Rey. Pretty nice area. Okay, that's where we shot the baby vampire scene where they're walking up the steps. And Thomerson comes in the kitchen. He goes, "Where can I put this?" Pulls out a gun. A gun. He's like, "I don't know about leaving this in a car." And I said, "Tim, this is Playa del Rey. I mean, Kanye West's mother lives up the street. The Buffer family lives in Playa del Rey. What's the matter?" And I remember him putting his gun above the refrigerator. And I always tell these goofy little stories. We could talk about the filmmaking stuff, but in that thing, Tim Thomerson, I don't know what live evil is. What does that mean? Nobody's, you know what you should call it? Samurai priest vampire hunter or something. And I remember that. And that's what we ended up going to because of him in that specific day. So I loved him. It was great work with him. Never showed up late, never unprofessional, always knew his lines, just legit a pro.
Smart man with the title like that. For anybody that's not seen it, and obviously with the title, they're maybe not getting what's going to be in the movie. Pitch them on it. Give us a 30-second pitch on what they can get in this film.
Most independent films take place in one location. Samurai Priest Vampire Hunter is a creep show a la Grindhouse movie that moves from Arizona to Los Angeles. And it's about a clique of vampires that are getting chased down by this mysterious vampire hunter, Samurai Priest. Why? The only person who knows the stuff is Ken Foray, and he's, instead of being a drug dealer, he's a blood pusher to vampires. So this is a giant chase movie with car chases, ridiculousness. I used to call it back in the day a Tim Thomerson fan's wet dream. Nudity, stunts, gore. It's supposed to be fun. Just like the Full Moon movies, I'm sure you guys are around my age, that we grew up watching, And I tell you what, Ryan, that They Live poster, I have that poster signed by Roddy Piper here at my place. Cool. And I used to have it in college, and I used to always see the live evil on the poster. So films like that were a big inspiration to be able to get where we're at today. I think I gave you a minute, but pretty
we'll allow this one. For anybody that wants to maybe pre-watch it before they decide if they want it on disc, I think you said it was streaming right now, right?
Streaming for free on Tubi and on Plex. I would suggest checking it out. The thing about Tubi and Plex is it's in 720. It's on sale on Amazon, which is in 1080. I think it looks better on Amazon than it does Tubi and Plex, obviously. But the Blu-ray looks by far better from what I ever seen. I haven't seen the Blu-ray yet, but I know what we turned in, and I know the author that Vinegar Syndrome has, and that guy's phenomenal. So the difference between kind of us, and I'll just wrap this little thought up here, is Vinegar Syndrome typically restores all their own films. We restored all the film. We didn't have any of their help. We supplied all the special features. We gave them all the artwork. So this is kind of from us. And man, I pushed that author to moving menus and to make it as badass as possible for these fans and for Tim Thomerson and for all the actors to get their SAG residuals. That was a real big thing to me. So, and I think we've done that so far. So check it out on Tubi or Plex right now.
Will's laughing. We've joked about this before. Some of these things, they just don't pay people. And to be one of the honest people that does, it's a big deal.
Yeah, unlike we're SAG after production, we had, I know what Tim made. I think he made his health insurance on this film. So obviously we paid him something. But, it's about a $500,000 movie. That's a real number. It's not a fake, filmmaker. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to shoot, And at the time, I tell you this, Ryan, I worked at a company called Filmotechnic that has the Russian arm. And we used that for all the car chases. So it was going from Transformers and I Am Legend to our film. So I got a lot of hookups. And man, there's just a lot of love. I'm excited to talk to you guys about it. I'm a little bit, over amped up here, but I'm excited to talk to you. And there's a lot of love. And I have a lot of respect for all the people who helped us make this happen. I'm not alone here, for sure.
Well, and big shout out to Ross over at Enjoy the Ride Media that's putting this out. Ross is a great dude. I've talked to Ross, God, I don't know, maybe 50 times over the years. He's incredible. So I'm glad you're working with him. Glad that he's got a film like this coming on his label, and appreciate you taking the time. I hope people check it out.
Thank you. And Will, nice meeting you. I appreciate you guys. Ryan, thank you for having me. And hey, check out the movie. And Hey, there's a lot of nudity, a lot of ridiculous in it. We put everything we had into it, and I hope people can have some fun with it. And I'll tell you what, those commentaries are spirited as much as I am right here, so I hope people have a good time.
Amazing. Thanks, Mark. We'll talk again.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thanks so much.
See ya.
I did order a copy.
Nice. I hope it's pretty good. Thanks, Mark, again for showing up. That was always fun to get somebody that's associated with one of these releases somehow to come on and say some words. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. We were talking about the Tiffany stuff. Anything else you want to throw in about her?
Isn't that such a funny coincidence? I mean,
it is, yeah.
She only worked on the movie for one day, like in 2008 or 9, but. It's still a funny coincidence that Mark would get in touch. And did I see one of the co-producers also post?
Yeah, Michael Hoffman. I cut and co-produced
Right.
Samurai Priest. If you have questions, he said he scanned a ton of the negative.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, I mean the trailer looks like a lot of fun, and certainly there was a period of my life where a title like that would be automatic, and that period remains happening now. Automatic.
All right. On that note, let's get to some of our regular stuff. What have you been picking up lately?
Pickups. Okay. I always put things in the wrong stack. Let me see here. What did I get? Okay. Picked up some things. First, I'll start with, this is probably the coolest thing I got. This is from Eureka, Terror in the Fog.
Nice.
The Wallace Creamy set. I think this is a volume. Is this a volume 1?
I don't think they labeled it a volume 1.
Okay. Well, at any rate, so cool. Picked up Paul Bartel's unreleased final film, Shelf Life. Did you get that as well?
I wasn't going to share it. This is going to be saved for next week, but yeah, I got it just randomly in the same time.
Well, I got, Kino gets me every time. And I picked up some Westerns, Cattle Drive. What do we got here? Border River. We got California. Huh? They know how to party. Picked up a couple of Jim Wynorski films that I did not
have them.
Carrie Wurr stars in Poison, not Poison Ivy. That's a completely different franchise. And the debut of Ms. Jennifer Love Hewitt in Home for the Holidays. Or
nice.
No, that's a Diane Keaton movie. Home for Christmas.
Just one of the holidays.
We don't do a war on Christmas here. This is a Christmas movie. It's not a Home for the Holidays. This is home specifically for Christmas. two Wynorski films. And lastly, I'll go rapid fire because, as some of you may be aware, Vinegar Syndrome had a sale recently.
Oh, really?
And I went into the deep discounts, right? The stuff that was going for like $8, $9, $10. So I picked up King Car, still got the slip.
Dark Star Pictures, nice.
I got, why don't you check out Pirates? Looks neat. 2 deep cut Vinegar Syndrome films, Punk Vacation and House on Tombstone Hill.
Very nice.
And finally, a neat looking Saturn's Core flick that I hadn't checked out before called Ravage. So those are all blind buys that I'm going to be checking out soon.
Speaking of Saturn's Core, I believe the title that we are on for Saturn's Core, Zombie Army, is somehow already listed in the going out of print section.
What?
And probably heavily discounted. So if somebody wanted to check that out, it's partner label only month. So go check that out. It's a great time for that. Brent is bringing up the dirtier cut of Dirty Work. This is my favorite pickup of the entire month. Here it is without its terrible artwork on the outside. This is what the movie should look like. And so this is how I will be leaving it. Yes, just got this in. Incredible. I I can't believe that exists. It's wild to me. Couple other things. You brought up Kino. I'm stoked that they're getting into stuff like Wayne's World 2 on 4K. Just got that in. One of Will's favorites. That was a joke. Will hates everything about it, I'm sure. And then
it's not as good as the first one.
That's to be argued. Next thing, I don't talk about Cinema Guild enough because they don't really put out a lot of stuff, but they put out a 4K of Typhoon Club. And was able to pick this up. Just got this in. So stoked on that. But man, my biggest score of the month. I love getting releases from 88 Films this way specifically because I don't have to give the company money and feel kind of weird about it. I traded somebody for this, and it happened to be sealed still. And I got the complete Flesh and Blood show.
Nice.
This is the horror films of Pete Walker. You've got all of these different titles in here, still sealed, and didn't even have to spend money on it. That's the best part.
That's always good.
Always good.
It's actually my favorite part of working Fear Fest is we were paid partly in merchandise. So picked up some of those Russ Myers as well. You know, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, I'm excited about the Dirty Cut of Dirty Work. I'm going to watch that this weekend.
Yeah,
my subscription came in as well, but
nice.
I'm not showing those. Jack came there. Yeah, Punk Vacation, great name for a podcast. Somebody could do that.
What about what have you been watching for the last month?
Delaware residents. What did I do to Delaware?
I'm not sure.
I'm forgetting.
One of the Western names or something?
Anyways, please enlighten me. If I did something bad to Delaware, I'll need to get a reminder of what it is. What did you just ask me? What I watched?
What did you watch over the last month? Yes.
Couple things. Let's start with a Tiffany Shepis classic, Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula. Well worth a watch. Reunited with Trent Haga from their days at Troma. I actually have to say, Tiffany Shepis is not short. She's regular size. I'm 6'3", so I mean, like, just say.
I hear you.
I watched Stagecoach again for the first time in many years. Plug to Tumbleweeds and TV Cowboys. Just had a nice episode about Stagecoach with Hunter. I watched 88 Films release of Hero.
Jet Li. The Silent Mandible thing about Delaware was because Wayne's World mentions Delaware.
Oh, yeah, if you make a Wayne's World reference, I will not understand what you're saying. This is not the Jet Li Hero. This is Wen Bao.
Oh, that's right. It's the other one.
It's great.
I've had Jet Li on my mind since that box set got announced.
Oh, yeah, right? That's going to be awesome. No, this is great. This is class-based gangster movie, femme fatale, the works. Great choreography. Here's a great film that I got blind buy at the deep discount indicator sale. Yesterday's Enemy. This is a Hammer film directed by Val Guest. World War II movie. British soldiers cut off from their platoon deep in the jungle of Burma at the time, Myanmar, and bleak. Oh my gosh. And it's all about war atrocities and justification of violence. This, and adapted from a play that I'd been unfamiliar with. Great interviews on this, really filled in some knowledge that I was missing. I highly recommend Yesterday's Enemy. This was a lot of fun's not the right word because it really is bleak. Speaking of bleak, I also watched a couple movies on streaming. Didn't go well. Unsurprisingly, as I have to do because of my family situation and the fact that I love my children, I did watch Captain America Brave New World. And
I saw your letterbox. I was surprised you loved it.
I knew you were lying because I never update my letterbox. I need to. Yeah, it just. And listen, I know people like to say that I hate everything made after 2000, and that's not exactly wrong. But I go into every movie wanting to like it. I thought The Marvels was pretty good, unlike the rest of America.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could not get into Brave New World. Oh my gosh. I saw. Oh, and speaking of things I'll do for my children, the next project is to begin watching all Star Wars in order of like the chronology of the
order, yeah.
Which meant that I had to start with the Acolyte. Now, I know the Acolyte received some controversy because, as we know, Star Wars fans, like Marvel fans, are misogynists and racists. I said
That's
that.
it.
So the Acolyte, I now know, came under a lot of fire because of the casting and stuff. But I think the main fire should have been aimed at just the show itself. Didn't do a lot for me, but I tried. I wanted to like it. I wanted
It's understandable.
to like it. And F me, man. You know what is next? Phantom Menace. That's what I got to watch next.
You're going straight into it. Yikes.
I did watch one ludicrous movie that I somewhat enjoyed, Under Paris on Netflix.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fast and the Furious 2.
Xavier Gens. It's a shark movie. What? Javier?
I was trying to make a ludicrous joke and it didn't land because I don't even think he's in Fast and Furious 2.
You could say he was, and I wouldn't know. I've seen neither Fast nor Furious. That'd be the next title. Neither Fast nor Furious.
It's just a retirement home.
Yeah. We're a family. So I guess that's enough. Yeah. Watch those. Not so great. Been watching The Righteous Gemstones. Not quite finished with that. No spoilers.
Nice.
I'm excited about just to respond to the Wonderment project there. I'm pretty excited about Jade 2 coming from Vinegar Syndrome. I want to see it and I want to see the 4K restoration. I watched it last year for the first time on streaming. It was on the Criterion channel with their like erotic thrillers section.
Yeah.
And again, speaking of ludicrous, that movie is, but it's got one of my favorite kind of like change of pace, literally, William Friedkin car chases. It's a great, if you've never seen Jade before, wait for the car chase because it's a great meta moment for any Friedkin fan. I liked that. What about you? What have you been watching? Watch anything good? What did you do with KB? You get to go out to movies with KB.
That was 2 weekends ago, but I did get to go out to a movie with a friend this weekend too. I watched last week. I watched the first 4 Final Destination movies. Then Friday I watched Final Destination 5 with the wife and really enjoyed it again. But then went and saw Final Destination Bloodlines with Kev Bonesy, who is not in the chat tonight because he is pretty much just now arriving to Boston. He moved from Oklahoma up to Boston just this weekend, stayed the night here Sunday night. And yeah, it was a really good time. Damn good movie. Way better than I expected. And followed that up with Monday or Tuesday with the new Fear Street Prom Queen movie on Netflix. Loved the first trilogy they did, so I was excited about this. And they did everything to make this movie just completely pointless, terrible, awful. It looked terrible. It had a bad plot line. The kills weren't that exciting. It was bad. It was really bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. I was disappointed, but yeah, that's kind of what I expected the trilogy to be. I guess I'm more disappointed because the trilogy was good. Other than that, been watching a bunch of Deaf Crocodile stuff this week. Working on a bunch of stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Do we talk about the one?
Go ahead if you want. It's already been announced.
Well, we just wrapped up a visual essay for Sirius.
Hence Will's byline there.
The first surviving time travel movie made in Hungary. And it's pretty interesting, pretty cool movie. It's
gorgeous to look at.
Yeah, beautifully shot. Hungary's film industry is much better than their politics at that time.
To say the least, yes.
To say the least. But say what you will about, which side they chose in the war. Oh, their film industry. Marvelous technical achievements.
Yeah, it's quite a beautiful movie.
Sumptuous. I would describe their film industry as sumptuous and their politics as loathsome.
Even that is very much putting it mildly.
Putting it mildly. Evil perhaps might be the... Oh, you know what? I did see one other movie in the theater. I almost forgot. With my good friend, John Daly. I saw 2 movies in the theater with John Daly. Holy cow. One was Reanimator. We went to see the 4K restoration. I know there's some controversy over the cost of the impending 4K. I'll leave that to you and the beard. But in the theater, it was a revelation. That movie came out in 1984 when I was 6. And I saw it for the first time when I was 18 or 19, right? So by the time I saw it, it was already 12, 13 years old. And seeing it again 40 years later in the theater, which I never thought I would do, I was struck by how intensely weird that movie is.
Yeah.
And
like capital W weird.
Both.
Yeah.
And just fantastic. We enjoyed it immensely. And then our new buddy Dick, who we met at the Sam Deegan screening of Zero Grad a couple months ago, invited us out to the Alamo to see Lady Terminator.
Nice. Seeing that on a big screen would be incredible.
It was nice. It was nice. And it was also cool because it was clear that several of the people around us were seeing it for the first time. And there's nothing in this world like watching Lady Terminator with someone who's never seen Lady Terminator.
In a big group of people like that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, is the DVD that Mondo Macabro put out of print at this point?
I don't think it's out of print. I don't even think he's mentioned if like elements or an upgrade are possible someday. I hope that would make it a pretty incredible 4K upgrade.
What was in the theater was definitely not a restoration.
Right.
It looked like it had known some use, if you know what I'm saying.
They saw you coming. Got it.
That print of Lady Terminator had been around the block, if you know what I mean. But it still was a lot of fun. So those were my forays out into the world.
On that note, we have like just over 100 announcements to cover tonight. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But I really wanted to give you a moment because you weren't able to be here last week when we announced Gator Bait 1 and 2.
Right.
You want to talk anything about the audio commentaries or being able to talk to Joe Bob? I know you were on the TerrorVision podcast, but sharing with everybody here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've talked about because we shot that Joe Bob interview a little over a year ago now. Yeah. So it's been a long time coming. Shooting the interview was a wonderful experience. It was so great to bring some UNC Greensboro students in to be the crew on that interview, and he was so gracious to them. I think the interview turned out really well. It was going to be interesting to people. I think I mentioned before he said some stuff about the films that I hadn't seen him talk about in interviews before, and he's had the first Gator Bait on The Last Drive-In, so he doesn't repeat himself really, other than some basic biographical details. The commentaries on both films were such an honor to do, and I'm still blown away. We've been so fortunate on all the films that we've been able to work on, but Gatorbait and Gatorbait 2 occupy such an iconic part of so many of our childhoods, those of us who are old enough to have spent a great deal of time in video stores. So it's just a huge honor, and the package for it looks great. I'm not trying to shill for TerraVision, but I kind of feel like it's underpriced.
Well, and
especially their big bundle with all the T-shirt and posters and everything.
We're not going to be able to shake the shill word after saying this, but I believe tonight is when the price. Oh no, it already just went up this afternoon. So never mind. It went from $54.99 to $64.99. So you missed out on the $10 window. I mean, honestly, $65 for what you're getting is a pretty incredible price still. Gatorbait and Gatorbait 2. This was our, I think, second or third confirmed project we ever did together.
Yep. One more that we still can't say.
I think this was either second or third that we knew that we were going to do, but then it was definitely the second and third that we had ever recorded.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. It's been a while for those.
Mm-hmm. So really excited that they're coming out soon, and Sledgehammer as well, which is going to have another Joe Bob interview.
Hey,
that's kind of
you just called him out, and now he shows up.
That's become my niche, I guess.
Joe Bob interviews, and now Tiffany Shepis, not bad kind of company.
Oh my God, dude! And I didn't really go into it. She was so cool, just totally chill. Hey, hey, strange guys who I've never seen before and have no idea if you're any good. Sure, let's go for it, And I can't say. What we shot was really great, and she was so great in it. And I look forward to being able to tell everybody more about it. I have been a fan of hers since. I mean, I'm like a year older. So Tromeo and Julia, it came out when I was 18. Saw it, I received it at the video store I was working at. I was like, oh, Shakespeare. Trauma. Let's do this. And, she's been in 160 some movies.
Yeah.
And
now Star Trek.
And now third season of Picard. She's a doctor. I forget her character's name. But her first line in the show is to yell at Jonathan Frakes, which is kind of neat.
That's pretty funny.
You start your career beating up Sean Gunn, and then you end up
what a pull
yelling at Commander Riker. It's a long and storied career. And I've just always liked her and everything because she has such a presence. She kind of throughout most of her career, her look reads gothy punk, kind of in the realm of Fairuza Balk, Winona Ryder type of thing, but if you go through her career, you'll find that she does so many different kinds of roles: comedy, thrillers, obviously horror mostly, and even in the lowest of low budget movies, her performances are always fun. So I've always really loved her. And when the opportunity came to connect with her at Fear Fest, I got a big shout out to Brad Henderson, who put us in touch. And she was just like, sure, why not? So very cool.
All right. let's get into this crazy night of announcements. If anything else comes up, we'll chat it out. Everybody, please speak up. Share your thoughts in the comments. Got a lot to cover tonight. So many big titles. This is gonna be a fun night. We started last week with Second Sight announcing When Evil Lurks, which was one of my favorites from 2023. This is getting a 4K and Blu-ray limited box set from Second Sight. You can also get the standard that comes out the same day. This is a dual format, and they've got some new extras all over here. We've got a new audio commentary. We've got new interviews with people associated with the film. We got a new visual essay by Mike Munzer. We've got a book that comes with this that's 120 pages, 6 collector's art cards, and pretty dang great art on the front of the box. I'm sure you haven't seen this one yet, have you?
Oh, love it. It's so gross.
You did see it?
Yeah, and I show the filmmaker's previous movie, Terrified.
Love Terrified. Terrified, I think, is better than this, actually.
In a horror class, and students really responded to Terrified. In fact, it scared them.
That dining room table scene is wild.
Oh my god! And when Evil Lurks is just it's so grim and unrelenting. I really liked it.
I'm glad you saw it and enjoyed it. That's pretty rare. All right.
Pretty rare that I'll watch a movie.
No, that watch a movie that came out in the last 5 years that you actually enjoyed. Next up, one that I'm sure you enjoy, Arrow announcements. They got around to releasing The Shootist over in the UK. This is its first Blu-ray release over there. This came out in the US last year, and it's the exact same disc, same packaging, same everything. Any thoughts on The Shootist before we move on?
Absolute great movie. Don Siegel. The cast is amazing. Lauren Bacall, Jimmy Stewart, John Wayne, Opie. It's Scatman Crothers, John Carradine, and it is a beautifully bittersweet send-off for Wayne. This is his last movie. He plays a gunfighter who has terminal cancer. He had terminal cancer himself at the time, and it's haunting, but it's also entertaining and funny and just beautiful to see all of those actors together. I love The Shootist. I got the American edition, obviously.
Nice. Next up is Enemy Territory. This one is coming on August 4th over in the UK only, not getting a US release. This has still never had a US Blu-ray yet. This is going to be coming with a new restoration from the 35mm negative by Arrow. It is not a 4K restoration. They would have touted that. It probably would have been a UHD. This has new commentary by the director. We've got Dave Wayne and Maddie Budquitz on there with them. New commentary also by Josh Nelson. New interview with the cinematographer, Ernest Dickerson. New interview with Gary Frank. And then, of course, they've got the Illustrated Collector's booklet with new writing by Paul Lay and Martin Conterio. I've never seen Enemy Territory, but it's been on my list for a long time. Have you seen this one?
No, but I just realized from looking at this is directed by the guy who did Eliminators.
I think so.
Seriously? Eliminators is by far my favorite. That's not true. Reanimator is. But non-Reanimator Empire Pictures movies, Eliminators. Great African Queen references. It's about a mandroid and a kung fu fighter and Denise Crosby and an Australian smuggler who have to fight a time-traveling mad scientist. A lot of time traveling. So on the basis of Eliminators being probably in my top 15 movies of all time, Enemy Territory has now become a must-watch.
Nice. All right. Next up is Thief. This is coming on 4K over in the UK on August 25th. This is the Michael Mann film debut, actually, which is still wild to me that this is his first movie. This is basically just an upgrade of their previous release for Thief. You've got the theatrical cut on the Blu-ray disc, director's cut on the 4K disc. Thief is amazing. Anybody that's not seen it, you should. James Caan is incredible in this. Tuesday Weld is amazing in this. Yeah, great movie.
I have the Criterion. Is this a different transfer?
It will be. It will be better looking on the Arrow disc, definitely.
It will be. Or you think it will be?
No, I can guarantee it. If there is ever a UK release and a Criterion of the same film on the same format, always go with the UK release.
Why?
Because they have better encoding, because Criterion never uses proper authoring or fidelity in motion.
Why?
Because they're cheap.
Why?
Have you met Criterion?
I have everything they've ever put out.
Yeah, and that's a problem. Will, this is an intervention.
I feel unmoored.
It's true, though. Great film, great release. I'm definitely getting this one instead of the Criterion because I did not get the Criterion yet.
I feel it's too late for me to turn my life around.
Everybody's laughing. All right.
You go through life thinking that the world is a certain thing, and then suddenly it's not. And what do you do? Like I'm defined now as middle-aged, right? And
make sure you read this. It's too late. It's too late for me. There's more behind me than there is in front. And I feel betrayed. I feel lost. And mainly I feel poor. And if anything motivates me to go to the streets to demand reforms, this would be it. I really want to clip this and save it forever because that was a very great interaction. All right. That was Thief. Next is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003, getting a 4K in North America only from Arrow on August 26th and not a UK release.
How are their North American encoding look?
It's the same company, Will. They look great.
Yeah, but it's that.
So I knew this was going to be a thing. How do you feel about the remake? I'm sure you've seen it.
I have.
How much do you hate it?
I'm just impressed with how strongly, was it Jennifer Beal? Is that who's the star of this?
That is, yes.
I am impressed with how strongly the knot of her T-shirt is tied. Because it just stays right there no matter what. It just holds right, like if you're going to a long sea voyage, I'd recommend Jennifer Beal as one of your shipmates because that gal can tie a knot. It was weird watching this movie because Daniel Pearl was the cinematographer, and of course he shot the original. And I saw an interview, maybe I hope I'm making this up, honestly, but I have a memory of seeing an interview where he talked about how on this movie he was able to do some things that he wished he could have done on the original. And Jessica Biel, why didn't you?
Because it was funny.
Who's Jennifer? Oh, is that Footloose?
It's Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. That's with
or Flashdance, not Dirty Dancing.
Flashdance.
Funny enough, we were just talking about Footloose and another thing, and we've had the 80s dancing all up in our heads, I guess.
Paul Verhoeven.
At least we're not spilling on slipcovers.
No, it's not Paul Verhoeven. It's Joe Esterhaus. That's what I'm trying to say. I wish that I were kidding. This is what's happening to me. So, Jessica Biel can tie a knot. Jennifer Biel can dance. Anyway, Daniel Pearl. I feel like I saw this interview where he said that, and then I watched the remake, and I felt like the cinematography was so needlessly ostentatious. And didn't fit. I mean, the original would not have that kind of flashy lighting would not have fit the original at all. And, right. And it really took me out. Like I felt that I'm not against remakes. I don't think there's any such thing as a sacred cow in Hollywood, but I felt like this movie on its own merits didn't do a lot for me.
I always laugh at the individuals that think that films that had like a good idea but poor execution are the ones that should get remade. And yeah, obviously, logically that makes sense. Hollywood is never going to put money into that, so that's never going to happen. So the sacred cows and the ones that people know are the ones that are going to get remade. I don't hate this movie. I actually quite like this movie because it was my generation, basically. Like I was 16 when this came out. This is one that I saw, and it was me as a teenager watching, basically. This is one I was shocked how many people hated this thing. I posted this announcement, and
you were shocked.
Yeah, I didn't know that like 80% of the physical media population despised this movie.
Reviled upon its theatrical release.
Well, the funny thing, a lot of people that love physical media love really shitty movies. And to have most people hate this, I knew it was reviled.
And see, this gets us back into what's a good movie and what's a bad movie. Because I just held up a couple of Jim Wynorski flicks, and by any measurement, I think most people would call them shitty movies. But if he had made a shitty movie with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre's budget, then that would have been a different thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan, but I'm not against remakes. If you give me a chance, I would love to remake The Godfather, but like Gen Alpha. Give
me a couple lines, Will.
I know what I want to say. But I can't stop laughing. I just want to get somebody doing Marlon Brando going like, one day, and that day may never come, I may ask you to skibbity toilet. I don't know.
Anyways, oh wow. I don't even know what to say to that. This one has a new commentary with Steve Barton and
no cat.
Leave the cannoli, no cap.
This one I thought I was getting out. Drag me back in, no cap. Okay.
Anyways,
what's next? There's another one in there. There's another one.
Jack said, "When I thought I was out there, raise me up."
There we go. I think we could crowd write it.
Yeah, where's the funding? Come on. New commentary with Chris McGibbon and Steve Barton. We've got new interview with the director.
That's
Do it.
that's how the gangsters would raise. Instead of shaking people down, they just do Kickstarters. GoFundMe. GoFundMe, or I'd hate some. I'd hate
17th Street's a little light on the funds. They got to GoFundMe.
Anyway, what else is on this piece of shit?
Oh, this is amazing. New interview with Daniel Pearl, the one you were just talking about. New interview with the composer. There's a making of doc. There is an in-depth look at Ed Gein, sorry. All kinds of stuff on there. New artwork, new writing by Michael Gingold. Yeah, I feel like I got to have this.
Go for it.
Looks great. Then they're also putting out a Blu-ray of Perpetrator. This is from 2023, coming on August 18th in the UK, August 19th in North America. This is from the mind of Jennifer Reeder, and this has new audio commentary by Jennifer Reeder and the DP. There's some visual essays, some interviews, and some shorts on here. One of their modern indies that they put out. It's nice to see them doing more and more like this, because this film probably would not have got distribution without it.
So Jennifer Grey.
Jennifer Grey is Dirty Dancing, yes.
Jennifer Beals.
Flashdance. Jessica Biel. Seventh.
Now pronounced you Chuck and Larry.
I love that we both went to kind of opposite ends of the spectrum there. Yes. Yes. August 11th in the UK, they're putting out a 4K of Poseidon, speaking of remakes. August 12th in North America. This is the 2006 film Poseidon from Wolfgang Petersen, who also did Das Boot.
Wolfgang.
We've got a new interview with the production designer, a new interview with the DP. We've got new interview with the visual effects supervisor, the makeup effects on set supervisor, new retrospective on the film by Heath Holland from Serial at Midnight, some featurettes, and lots of stuff coming on this. New writing by Priscilla Page. I have never seen the remake of Poseidon. Did you ever see this one?
I haven't either, but I really want to. It got tepid, if I may use a nautical term. Tepid reviews, I think. The original Poseidon Adventure, who's that? Ronald Neame? Is that who directed it?
It sounds right.
A lot of fun. Not a great movie by any means, but of the Towering Inferno ilk, disaster movies. And no one does water like Wolfgang Petersen. Perfect Storm, Das Boot.
Yeah.
So I really do want to see this.
Nice. That is coming on August 11th and 12th from Arrow. And then, speaking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, August 25th in the UK, August 26th in North America, there's a 4K of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning from 2006.
All right.
Beginning.
Now, what is this? I know that this happened, but I didn't see it.
This is like a prequel to the story. It's pretty bad.
So like Teen Leatherface?
In a way, kind of. I haven't seen this in a long time, but it's... I don't know. This one's got another new commentary from Steve Barton and Chris McGibbon. We've got an archival commentary. We've got a new interview with some of the actors and effects artists and all that stuff. This is the uncut version that is going to be here on 4K. And new writing on here by Michael Gingold as well. This is the one with Alexandra Daddario, though, which makes a lot of people happy. And Brendan says Skibbity Leatherface.
There
we go. And Ryan Gallen's made up the term oof tonight into everything. Oofer face.
I like it.
Oh, wait. This is not the one with Daddario. Texas Chainsaw 3D is Daddario.
Man,
Okay.
we're just randomly identifying things tonight. Is this the one with Ruggero Deodato?
I just talked about him on another show for a long time, actually. Nice. And Ronnie says, thank goodness that Dario's first name isn't Jennifer. Oh, man. Or Jessica. Yeah. Good stuff. Hey, Kino, I was going to say in a couple months, but we don't know. Eventually, someday, they'll put out Birds of Prey from 1968. This is a Lino Ventura film coming on Blu-ray.
All right.
Yeah. It's got a 2019 4K restoration from Studio Canal. Imprint over in Australia releasing a giant release of David Lynch's Dune on 4K and Blu-ray. This is coming on July 30th. This is a crazy piece of like shelf art. This is basically to rival like the Never Ending Story release from them. It weighs 1.5 kilos. It is huge. It's got sand in the box and a film and some other things. This looks like a really great release. I know there's a couple of people not super stoked because it doesn't have the Spice Diver cut on it, and it doesn't have a couple of the other extras that were on like the Arrow release and the German release. But yeah, if you're a major fan of Dune, here's another option.
You know, in Australia, it's Shoy Oi Oi Haloob. Huh?
That was pretty good. Yes, it is bespoke, Gary. And Brandon, I'm not being funny. There's actual sand in the cover of the box here. It's a crazy version of it. What do they say here? Tilt the panel to watch the sand spill. Run your fingers across the sand-like grit-textured surface of the hard box.
That
sounds like this is going to be on a Bearded Film Guys channel soon.
Weirdly erotic.
It's weirdly bespoke.
You got sand in the box. You got a problem. It looks all romantic.
Let's
making love on the beach, but it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you what.
Let's follow that up with some Trash Juice on June 10th. Bizarre Theater Releasing is putting out Trash Juice.
Thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh God.
Trash Juice from 2022.
I can smell it through the Instagram.
Oh, man. This is a no-holds-barred dark comedy horror anthology told through a grotesque wraparound segment where a group of heroin addicts force a captured preacher to listen to their stories.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant.
Moving right along. August 12th, Kino is releasing Film Noir, The Dark Side of Cinema, Volume 26, moving ever so closely to that worshipped XXX version coming soon. This will include Dr. Broadway, Smooth as Silk.
They'll call that one Film Kira Noir.
And this also has The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby is also going to be getting a standalone Blu-ray release. I believe on the same day.
Classic noir film, The Great Gatsby. I'm looking forward to Dr. Broadway, though. It's like I just feel like it couldn't be that dark. It's like
I don't even know what to say.
We're gonna go see the doctor. Doctor who? Dr. Broadway.
Oh God, it's a good night. The film Dr. Broadway is going to have a new commentary by Alan Arkush and Daniel Kramer. It also has another audio commentary by Jeremy Arnold. Smooth as Silk gets a new audio commentary by Alan K. Rohde.
Oh, nice.
And then Paul Talbot is on, I believe that's The Great Gatsby. It's labeled weird. There's also a David Ladd interview and, trailers as usual.
I'll get it.
Number 26.
I didn't show this in our pickups, but I got another couple of those that went on sale. I think I've got about 12 or 13 of them at this point.
Craig says we're on fire tonight. Unfortunately, it means we'll get 30 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, how much is left? We about halfway?
About halfway. Only about 86 left.
I'll 86 you, buddy. Oh, shoot. I apologize for my thoughtless use of common slang.
Of canceling somebody.
I did not mean to imply I was calling for your assassination.
I want to see people, instead of using 86, start using the word jettisoned.
Jettison.
Yes.
We should jettison this person.
Like Walmart security. Don't make me jettison you out of this store.
That's a lot of syllables to be thrown around in a Walmart.
That's the point. Coming soon, Kino is releasing Hardware on 4K, the
Nice.
Richard Stanley film that people have loved for years. Dylan McDermott is a big one on this, also Iggy Pop. Yeah. Don't forget, they also got Dust Devil coming on 4K.
They do?
They do.
Wow.
Not dated yet, but the both of them will be out fairly soon.
Oh, they're timeless.
Literally, no release date.
Yeah. Dylan McDermott. Now, literally every time I talk about him, I quickly shift into Dermot Mulrooney mode. I want to make it clear. I know who Dylan McDermott is, and he is in this movie.
Their names are very close, and they do get mixed up quite a bit by a lot of people. Yeah.
I did a Christmas show for the Culture Cast.
Yes, you did.
What was the movie? Miracle on
34th Street, yeah.
34th Street.
The original. Speaking of remakes.
It was supposed to be the original, but I thought it was the remake. And the remake has Dylan McDermott. And so I had prepared for the wrong movie. But we continued on with the conversation. And I talked about the remake, which I watched. And I said Dylan McDermott like once or twice. And the whole rest of the podcast, Dermot Mulrooney. It was unfixable, so he just let it go.
That is...
Probably nobody even noticed.
That's hilarious. Next up, coming soon, we don't have a release date on this yet, but there's a 4K Blu-ray digital package coming as an Amazon exclusive Ultimate Collection from Sony of the Karate Kid 6-film collection. This has all 6 of the films on 4K. Now, this can be compared because there was a Karate Kid trilogy 4K set that has been out of print and fetching a lot of money on the secondhand market. And that did not include the next Karate Kid from 94. Now, this set does. It has the brand new movie. It's got the first Smith movie in 2010. Looks like a really solid set. It is built like the Columbia Classic sets, it looks like, where you can pull them out from the side. It's got little headband and coasters and cards and all this fun stuff. It's quite expensive, but if you love Karate Kid stuff, this is a great set. Yeah.
I think that's cool, the little display.
Yeah.
I hope it's not dinky. And I kind of liked the next Karate Kid. Oscar winner Jennifer Swank.
Yeah. Oh. Yes, Craig, it does have legends, man. That was really funny. God, that was so hard not to start basically howling at that. Yes, all these comments about it not having the TV show, unfortunately, it's a Netflix show. The odds are it will either never be released or they'll put it out for way too much money in years when people stop caring about it. Thank you, Netflix. Let's get into some OCN partner labels.
Speaking of sequels.
I was going to buy this, but I don't have Edward the First, so I said I'd wait. Oh, gosh, that was fun. This is coming from Film Movement, Edward II. This is from 1991. This is a Derek Jarman movie, which Man, I've said that name more times in the last week than I think the rest of my life combined, because we talked about him earlier. This is going to have a documentary featurette on Derek's Edward, booklet with a new essay by Kyle Turner, essay by Bruce LaBruce, and a prologue by the one and only Tilda Swinton. Yeah, this looks like a great one.
I picked this up a year or so ago from, was it Film Movement?
Yep.
So I've already got it. I guess the only new thing is the slip, but it's a cool slip.
Oh, man. Yeah, it is a cool slip. It's a good night. Next up, Film Movement also doing Sissy and I from 2023. This is, wow. I did not look at this director's name before I tried to say this out loud, so I'm sorry. Frauke Finsterwalder.
Should have Frauke on. Good old Frauke.
Why couldn't she be here to promote her movie? I'd probably call her Jennifer. This one has a visual essay by the filmmaker Hunter Whaley, an introduction from Jennifer Finsterwalder. I'm so sorry for everybody listening to the podcast later. Oh, man. I don't even know what to say to that name. All right, let's keep going. Film Movement also releasing Tahara from 2020. The big thing is this was like the month of Rachel Sennett again. Rachel Sennett stars in this one, directed by Olivia Peace. This has an audio commentary with Olivia Peace and Jess Zeldman, the cinematographer, the editor, sound designer. There's a booklet with an essay by Sarah Clements. And yeah, definitely had to have this one. I've not seen this.
Yeah, looks cool.
Had a lot of people talking about this one. I've not been able to see this one either. But Automatons is the first release from brand new partner label, Glass Eye Pictures. If you recognize that name, it's because it's the production company of the one and only Mr. Larry Fessenden and his crew. Glass Eye Pix has joined OCN for the first time, and they're responsible for narrative films, documentaries, books, comics, audio plays, and other unique work designed to inspire and contrast with corporate media. Fessenden has operated the company since 1985. This one directed by James Felix McKenney, starring Christine Spencer and Angus Scrimm. The Angus Scrimm.
The Angus Scrimm.
Heard he is... quite tall. New audio commentary with the director and crew. New behind-the-scenes surveillance camera montage. New film reel, The Delusions of James Felix McKenney. There's a 60-minute behind-the-scenes documentary, Angus Scrimm interview from 2006, a trailer from 2006, camera test from 2005, and then a booklet with new writing by Simon Abrams and an original director's statement from 2006. Yeah, this looked pretty good. Next up, Cartoona is releasing Cash Cow from 2023. This one is going to have some featurettes on it. I don't know what they mean. They're called, like, Here We Have Idaho. Sure. LA screening promo, director's commentary, and a trailer. This one says, in the fall of 2020, a struggling actor explores early Mormon historical sites as he anxiously awaits the national broadcast of his Domino's pizza commercial. And if that's not eclectic enough to you.
You know, those Idaho filmmakers. Eccentric.
Quite. Same as Domino's pizza commercials.
Unlike the Idaho militias, who are violent.
Quite arrested.
Yeah.
Moving right along. IFC releasing Dandelion from 2024. This is a struggling singer-songwriter falls into an intoxicating romance that leads her to a deeper appreciation of her artistic journey and the discovery of a voice that is authentically her own. Supposedly, this is incredible, like one of the better partner label releases of the year. Have not been able to see this. We get a commentary with the writer, director, producer, Nicole Regal, and director of photography, Lauren Gutierrez. There's behind-the-scenes footage, a stills gallery, music video, trailer, a booklet with new writing by Katie Reif, and various members of the film crew.
I'm very interested in seeing this. And, you read that description, and that really sounds like a good film. But then you think, what if that were happening in real life with like somebody you knew? Then it'd be insufferable. There's nothing worse than being around someone who's finding themselves. You know what I mean? Because it's just like, what are we going to talk about tonight? What's on your agenda? Oh, we're going to talk about you? Okay.
So trauma.
I'm all ears. Yeah. What do you got? What discovery did you make today?
So what did you remember about your father this week?
Jesus Christ.
Moving right along. Immediately laughing. Saturn's Core delivering David the Rock Nelson Collection number 2, covering 1992 to 1999.
Much more fun in real life. Now there's a dinner conversation I'd like to have. David the Rock Nelson, what did you do today? I genuinely want to know. Please tell me.
Now, do you want to know what he did in 1998 or 2025?
Start wherever you want. I'll listen until you're done.
Yes, Hillary Rodham Clinton is even in this.
Nice.
Supposedly, one previously mentioned, Mr. Brad Henderson, might be in this as well. This is a fine collection to match up with the first volume that they did from Saturn's Core. Looks like some great stuff. Yeah, I love what Saturn's Core does pretty much every time.
Yeah, they really are great.
Wow. Yeah. Shudder released a vinyl bundle, and then they've also got 2 slipcover options for the film Destroy All Neighbors from 2024. This is the Jonah Ray Rodriguez film. It's also got Alex Winter in this, and I think a small part with Kumail Nanjiani. I've not seen this yet. I really wanted to, but I am glad that Shudder's putting it out.
Yeah, it's in my Shudder queue.
I've liked Jonah Ray for quite some time. I always want to say Jonah Ryan because that's literally my kid.
Wait, this is different Jonah Ray than the Jonah Ray that was on Mystery Science Theater, right?
Nope, that is him. It's his actual last name.
Oh, okay.
Shudder is also. Go ahead.
Jonah was the worst host, but I still liked him.
I used to listen to the Nerdist podcast with him on it all the time.
No, he's a funny guy.
Yeah, and his comedy with Kumail was always great, like the nerd melt stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
Shudder.
Is that internet stuff? Is that millennials?
Actually, well,
Zers.
Elder millennials, yeah. It's no, not Zers. Millennials.
The millennials.
The Nerd Melt was a live comedy club in LA that shut down years ago, but they had a Comedy Central show that they did together. Kumail and Jonah Ray together. Sissy is the other Shudder title from this month. This is from 2022.
How many Sissies we got? We got Sissy and then just Sissy. Where did I go?
Well, you're right there, sir. The Meltdown, that's what it was called, yes. And the venue was called Nerd Melt, I believe. So Sissy says, invited away on a hens weekend, Sissy is stuck in a remote cabin with her high school bully and a taste for revenge. Cecilia and Emma were tween-age BFFs who were going to grow old together and never let anything come between them. That is, until Emma's new friend Alex did just that. When Cecilia became the target of Alex's bullying, it forced Cecilia and Emma apart. 12 years later, Cecilia is a successful influencer living the dream until she runs into Emma for the first time in over a decade and her world is turned upside down. This is going to have a commentary with the co-director and writers. It's got a making of Sissy. It's got 8 behind-the-scenes featurettes, some side-by-side storyboard comparisons, and then a booklet with new writing by Amber T.
Where I come from, Sissy is what you call like any female relative. Like, hey, Sissy, come on, Sissy, let's go to the store. I need a ride. You know, I don't get my license back for another 6 months. Go and get the truck.
You got to go get it because I'm only allowed to be outside the door for an hour, and that clock runs fast. Next one that, man, I am pretty damn excited for this one. Canadian International Pictures releasing The Devil at Your Heels from 1981. This is a title that a lot of people have been very much touting and praising for years. This is scanned and restored in 2K from the 16 millimeter interpositive by the National Film Board of Canada. It's got a new interview with the director, a new audio interview with Gloria DeMario. Rocket car designer Richard Keller speaks on his collaboration with Carter. There's an archival interview on here. And then the big thing, Pure Cinema Podcast, friend of the show, Brian Sauer Show. There's an excerpt on here that's 9 minutes long. There's an 8-minute introduction. Lots of cool stuff. 4 short films. As usual, CIP absolutely putting as much as they can on these discs, and it looks great.
So it's like a good double feature with Cronenberg's Fast Company. I would definitely do that.
Yeah. Then we get another Blu-ray release of Enter the Void, the Gaspar Noé film. This is going to have a new audio commentary by Elena Lazic. There's a new visual essay by Chris O'Neill.
Cool.
40-page book with new writing by Bill Gabiri, Caden Mark Gardner, and Mark Newman. This is one that was previously released in the UK by Arrow. And
does that mean the transfer is better? Or?
I asked Justin about this. Supposedly, this should look better than the Arrow release.
I can't keep up.
The other thing
new extras look great, though.
There are new extras. This will never have a 4K. So many people commented, how is this not 4K? This was not done in a format that could be on 4K. Gaspar Noé has said it will never be in 4K. Justin said it would be impossible. This will never be on 4K. This and the Arrow release are the 2 best releases this will likely ever have anywhere in the world. So if you're into Gaspar Noé, if you want Into the Void, and you're in Region A, this is the one to get. If you're in Region B, you might want the Arrow one.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Thanks, Will. Thanks. Next up, Final Cut is coming this month from Umbrella. This is a film that I am stoked to be seeing get a good release like this. It's region free, got an audio commentary with the producer Mike Williams, moderated by Shane Armstrong. Visual essay from Andrew Mercado. There's Not Quite Hollywood interview. Booklet with an essay by Stephen Vagg and the original publicity materials. And I believe this also includes another film on here. Which one does it have? I think it's Samson and His Mighty Challenge. Yeah, also includes the English dub of the original Italian film, Samson and His Mighty Challenge.
Is that what he calls it?
Yes. Next, Factory 25 putting out Kill the Moonlight from 1994. Another good possible pairing for the CIP release. It's about a stock car racer who blows a rod and his car catches fire. This one's going to have a director interview, 24-page booklet with an interview by the director, and Matt Grady from Factory 25 is in there. Paul says that's wrong. I believe that they were saying that is correct. And not to mention the listing says that it does have that second film. I'm so confused now. I'll have to look that up. Thanks, Paul.
I love the fact that it advertises that it's
That description was from Hercules Returns and has nothing to do with the Simpsons.
we're back at Final Cut. Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I thought that was
Yes.
confusing too. It looked like somebody copy pasted the wrong thing. Final Cut does not have any Samson and his mighty whatever in it.
Thanks, Umbrella.
Ella.
Hey.
I love the fact that Kill the Moonlight is advertised as like having a line sampled in the Beck song Loser. But it does, in fact. I'm a driver, I'm a winner. Things are going to change. I can feel it. That's the line. Well, I'm excited about Kill the Moonlight. I haven't seen that in forever. Well, since like 1996. Which feels like forever. Because
Basically is.
oh my gosh. Different world. These kids don't understand.
Next title is from VHS Hitfest, and it is The Killing Tide. What are we laughing at now?
1996, just everything about it.
Agreed. This one says a corrupt sheriff schemes with city officials to obtain lucrative lakefront property. In a web of lies and intrigue, the sheriff tricks two offbeat killers into murdering his partners in the deal, all in one night over the 4th of July. The Killing Tide never received the distribution it deserved when it was originally released, sadly falling into complete obscurity. We are so happy to release this one of the all-time great low-budget action films of the 90s and a soon-to-be cult classic. This one, there's a trailer out for it. Looks great.
Yeah.
Dan from VHS Hitfest says this is full of like sleaze and nudity and great action. And yeah, this looks pretty great.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't recommend hiring professional killers, but if you do, you don't want offbeat ones. I want like
On beat.
methodical, boring, straightforward, straight shooting, frankly. Killers. You know? I want the Killing Tide description also. Please. Anyway. Ooh. So I'm just saying, if you're looking for someone to, I don't know, kill a spouse or a boss or just a random person, and you meet an assassin who's offbeat.
By the way, this is not legal advice.
Make a pass. Pass. I want someone who's a little more bland.
On that note, The Killing Tide will also have a commentary with the actor Steve Jones, interview with the director, an interview with another one of the actors. There's a documentary from 1995, and this is also a new transfer from the original master.
Cool.
Limbo is the next title coming from Brainstorm Media, and this has Simon Baker in it, and this has an interview with the director and a bunch of people associated with the film, and also has some behind-the-scenes footage and a booklet with new writing by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas. Ryan Galland, you don't know that. Wayne's World 2 is great. Next, Kim Stim is another brand new partner label making their debut this month. They are putting out the film Ma Mère from 2004. Kim Stim is a company that's released some films on their own, and I'm sure this will get them a lot more notice now. Ma Mère is one that a lot of people have been after for quite some time. This is a scandalous, notorious film. This is with Isabel Huppert, and it's got a trailer on here, an interview with the director. Anything on Ma Mère or Kim Stim there, Will?
Oh no, I just want to see it. I'm not familiar with this one, so that one looked really good to me.
Next up, Men of Deeds is the release from the catalog this month, and this one, the trailer looked pretty good on this one, or maybe it was stills. I don't remember what it was on this, but yeah, this looked pretty dang good. This has an audio commentary with the director, some behind-the-scenes footage, promotional interviews, and then a student film from 2007 from the director as well. Decanalog does pretty great stuff.
In general.
Rounding is the next title from Music Box Films. They were quiet for a long time, and now they've released a couple in the last couple months. This one says, after a traumatic incident, a driven young medical resident transfers to a rural hospital for a fresh start, but the demons of his past start to catch up to him when he becomes consumed by the case of a patient with mysterious symptoms. It says a feature audio commentary with the director and editor Mike Smith, behind the scenes, and a handful of interviews, deleted scenes, outtakes. And this one looked very interesting.
Rural hospitals, man. It can be a tough go.
Yeah, if you get a chance, you don't want offbeat hospitals. You probably want onbeat, methodical, bland hospitals.
Let me tell you what. I was living in Letcher County, Kentucky, and I got the flu real bad and got delirious because my fever. I was living alone, and I must have passed out on the floor, woke up. It was winter. It was like 6 p.m., but I thought it was 6 a.m., and I was trying to get ready for work. Didn't know where I was. And I called my mother, and I guess I must have just been speaking gibberish because she was like yelling at me to get to the hospital. And I drove, not advisedly. Sissy wasn't around. So I drove to the emergency room, and I swear to God, it was like human centipede. This German doctor with a very thick and evil sounding accent. And I don't mean to stereotype the Germans, but let's be real. Their accent sounds evil. And and a lot of this I'm telling in retrospect because people had to fill me in after I came to. But apparently I had like a fever of like 103 or 4. Like it was bad, like you're not supposed to have that kind of a fever. And they had to put me in an ice bath. And I do remember coming to in the ice bath, and this German doctor is talking to me, and he's complaining. Like he's not a native of Kentucky. He's from Germany. That's why he has the accent. And he's there doing some kind of residency that he has to do. And he's complaining about, the natives. He's like, they bring this on themselves. They should all just be left to die. And then he walks away from me. And I'm sitting there in this ice bath going, fuck, do I still have my kidneys? Is half of me being sold on the black market? Where's my leg? Rural hospitals, stuff can happen. And nobody will know. There's not a centralized reporting mechanism. They don't even have the internet. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I really thought this was a jokey anecdote when you first started.
No, this really happened to me. Everything I've just said is true. So rounding looks interesting. I mean, that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of atmosphere where I really get like, ooh,
Kubrick lovers here. He just got Inflatable Sex Doll of the Wastelands.
Oh, good for you.
It's a good release.
It's amazing, actually.
Next, the film that we talked about at the top of the hour, Mark Terry, Samurai Priest, Vampire Hunter. This is got some names in it you'll recognize, like Tiffany Shepis. We already talked about it. 2 audio commentaries with Mark Terry and Mike Hoffman. We've got a featurette on the film Restoration and a bunch of extras on this. A lot more than usual on the ETR releases. And looks like a fun one. This one sold very well this month. AGFA releasing Scarecrow in a Garden of Cucumbers from 1972. This says eternal trans icon and Warhol superstar Holly Woodlawn is a riot in Scarecrow in a Garden of Cucumbers, a long-lost comedy musical that has been lovingly restored by the Academy Film Archive. Holly stars as a small-town Kansas girl who tries to make it big or at least find a roommate in New York City. One of the first features with a trans lead. This joyous Valentine to individuality features a supporting role from the Warhol scenester Tally Brown and cameos from Bette Midler and Lily Tomlin. This is region-free, restored from the original film elements at the Academy of Film Archive. Commentary with Jeff Copeland and Jackson Cooper. Interview with the producer, Henry J. Alpert. And then a bonus movie, Gums, from 1976. This is a Jaws parody from the director, Robert J. Kaplan, that was preserved from a 35mm print, courtesy of Vinegar Syndrome. There's a booklet with essays in it. Yeah, this was a absolute must.
Yeah, it looks great.
You just spent like 24 minutes telling a dizzying hospital anecdote.
I had a joke, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna let this one go. This is a movie of historical importance, and should be. Not that. What was the other movie? Rounders.
Rounding. Not Rounders.
That's the poker movie. Not that rounding isn't important, but we don't know yet if it's a classic. So I felt like I had license to tell my story. I mean, I got all kinds of stories that be relevant to this film, but
yes. All right. Moving right along from Scarecrow and Gums. Next one is the release from Bleeding Skull for this month, and it's Suro Alien Hitchhiker from 1996.
Do they call elderly mermaids mermatrons?
Mermaphrodites.
Ooh. I don't know if you can say that.
You took that from the complete innocent way that I meant it and made it so different. Okay.
Let's talk about Suro.
Okay, it is hard to see tonight. If the B-52s collaborated with Negativland on an alt-Earth version of Star Trek, it would feel a lot like Suro Alien Hitchhiker, a mixed media hallucination from filmmaker Patrick McGuinn. The story follows Paul, a skeptic who embarks on a spiritual, emotional, and sexual metamorphosis with an extraterrestrial named Suro. Awash in LSD-tinged visuals, a pulsing acid house soundtrack, this is a beautiful synthesis of experimental video art and queer exploration.
Was this the movie that was in Dirty Work?
Not quite. Commentary with the director, moderated by Annie Choi from Bleeding Skull. Bonus movie, Desert Spirits from 1994, restored from the original 16mm elements. And then we've got short films restored from the original elements as well. Booklet reproducing of the 1996 press kit. I mean, this looks really great.
Yeah. I also love Negativland.
Yep.
And B-52s. I saw them in concert right before the pandemic.
I am shocked. They sound identical to their original recording still.
Yeah, it was great. Oh, you know what was funny? This is a weird plug. So this was like the fall before the pandemic, right? And B-52s were doing their last tour with Berlin and Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. And so we went to see it, and it was great. And I happened to be wearing the Vinegar Syndrome Black Flag bars with the instead of the bars, it's the film strips. And this dude walks by me, and he's like, "Yo, Black Flag." And I'm like, am I about to get beat up at a B-52 show? and I was like, yeah. I butched it up, you know. And he's like, they're coming to Greensboro. And I was like, what? And it turns out they were. And so They just had some guy who kind of like looked and sounded like Henry Rollins, but Black Flag is really Greg Ginn and whoever he's playing with.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'll be there, dude. And sure enough, they came through at this like little bar. It was called the Blind Tiger, and then a bunch of people got murdered there, and they changed the name, I guess, to make people forget. But anyway, I saw Black Flag, and that was the last show I saw before the pandemic hit. Like the world shut down a week or so after. It was kind of appropriate in a way.
Did they change the name to the Blind, Deaf, and Dumb Tiger?
No, Hangar 1819. I don't even know what it means.
It's a Megadeth reference.
Oh, okay. I saw Deicide there, though. A little heavier. I don't know if Megadeth can handle that shit.
Probably not. Next up, Connie putting out Tokyo Uber Blues from 2021. This says, unemployed in the wake of the pandemic, 26-year-old filmmaker Taku Aogi decides to try his luck in Tokyo. Short on worldly possessions but a bike and a phone, he becomes an Uber Eats rider. Now he can decide his own hours and is free to choose when to take orders, but pedaling through deserted streets, delivering boba tea to cloistered condos, he starts to wonder, what was it that Ken Loach said about the Uberization of society?
First of all, way to go, Ryan Gals. Ministry are having a renaissance. Somehow, Al Jurgensen found the fountain of youth and just, he looks kind of like Mumra from Thundercats now, but like in a good way. And check out Ministry's like new re-recordings of their early synth pop stuff. It sounds fantastic. But anyways, Tokyo Uber Blues.
I'm sorry. The moment you said Mumra, I almost said, wasn't that the Pharaoh from Night at the Museum, just to be an idiot? And I can't stop laughing inside.
The old version of Mumra. But like he looks good. He looks good, and he's got a good sense of humor. Saw him with the Melvins about a year ago, and Ministry. First 2 CDs I ever bought. Right? CDs. So this is 1991, 92 for me. I was.
You were what? 28, 29?
I was like 12, 13. So 90, 91. My Life with the Thrill Cult, Sexplosion, and Ministry, Psalm 69. Those were that's it. That explains everything.
Yep. It really does. You got the theatrical cut on this disc, introduction from the director. There's a TV cut on here that's 52 minutes long with an optional audio description. We've got The Road He Walks, a story of Hikun, that's 47 minutes. Performance of Tokyo Uber Blues by the composer, theatrical Q&A. Jack's trying to
I just got you. I got well actually. Ask me how many songs I can name. Name 3 songs.
There's also a booklet in the Connie release.
Hey, I didn't mean to take attention away from Connie because they're one of my favorite of the labels.
Yeah.
This is automatic. Any Connie release is automatic for me. And this looks pretty cool.
Great looking slip too. Good, really good art.
Yeah.
Next, we got a couple catalog slipcovers. First one is Shiva Baby from Utopia, a film
Shiva.
that
Yeah, she's not stabbing you.
Yes.
Shiva.
They say Shiva in the film.
They say Shiva because it's... Oops. Yep. You're right. What a great flip that is. Oh, man.
Yeah, catalog slipcover from Utopia looks great. The big thing that frustrated some people is just like in... You really lost it. Just like during
Stupid. I'm so stupid. Oh, yeah.
Just like in the halfway to Black Friday sale when VS introduced some new slips, these ones cannot be purchased on their own. So if you already had the standard and want the slip, you have to buy the whole thing all over again.
Okay, that's kind of bullshit, but okay.
Yeah. And during the halfway sale, they were saying, well, it's contracts. We can't always do that. And it was MGM titles, so that kind of made sense. This isn't an MGM title, so I don't know if it makes much sense on this.
Well, if it were like $5 and you could get the slip by itself, I would get it. But
and then Canadian International Pictures also has a catalog slip of Gina, and the art on this is freaking gorgeous. Same thing. Can't purchase it on its own. Has to be bought with the movie. And I already have Gina, so
it's kind of like punishing you for being a loyal customer.
In a way.
No offense, but
I agree, Jim. I really like the slip on Gina.
So it goes.
Bleeding Skull put out a logo tee this month, and then if you really love the film Blonde,
you have to buy the mannequin with it.
No, if it's you, it's a womannequin. They also put out a Blonde Death tee, which I know made Kev Bonesy very happy, and he bought it while he was with me. So yeah, that looks like a solid one. I wish more of these partner labels would release logo tees. They should. They're good stuff. They also had some of these deluxe LED VHS releases. We got Calvaire and Skateboard released this month. And that is it for OCN. So any thoughts?
Good show.
Any thoughts on OCN for this month overall?
I mean, it's a great month. What was it? 22 releases? Gee.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So, I hope you all have second jobs.
If you're buying all of them, yes, you absolutely need them.
I mean, and so, we've talked about this. Well, we talk about it every month, how amazing it is that the OCN, the partner labels, give us access to so many contemporary and recent films that we might not have access to at all otherwise.
Right.
So
I agree. We're about to talk about a couple really great Deaf Crocodile titles. But before we do, Deaf Crocodile last week announced on their social medias that they were running a giveaway for the release that they just sent out, which some people have been getting in the mail, and others will probably have that be shipping here soon, I believe. And it is a pretty great release. The Treasures of Soviet Animation Volume 1. They're giving away one of their deluxe box sets for this release. And it was very simple to join and be included on this. It was a random draw, and we pulled a winner, and the winner is the Instagram user UKIKAREHA. No idea how to pronounce that. Yukika Riha. That's what I'm going to say. This is one that, congratulations, you won. We're going to get Deaf Crocodile in contact with you, and that will get sent to your house. Will, you okay?
Yukika?
Yeah. Yukika. Congratulations. All right, let's get back to it. First, June 20th is going to be the pre-order date of these two releases. So you can't pre-order these yet. You got about a 2-week wait, and then they will be up, and then they will be shipping in the following month. First one is the Pied Piper and Yuri Barta shorts.
That movie is incredible.
Yes, it is.
When the real rats come out, I'm just like, what am I watching? I am watching the most genius cinema in the history of cinema.
It's truly a beautiful movie.
It's incredible.
So this is basically it's got the same disc that they released under when they were with OCN, and then there's a second disc that is longer than everything that was on this first disc. Gary, these will be up for pre-order on June 20th. So on this one, the first disc is the same as they put out with OCN, and then on the second disc, there are 6 brand newly restored Jiri Barta shorts that Craig from Deaf Crocodile restored himself. We've got Riddles for a Candy, Disc Jockey Design, A Ballad About Green Wood, The Last Theft, and The Club of the Laid Off. There's a new video interview with Jiri Barta on here about his short films, new visual essay that's narrated by Irina Kovarova and Peter Hames, and then brand new artwork by Beth Morris, and it's got a full booklet now. The previous release did not have the full book like they do for their deluxe editions. This one is a 60-page illustrated book. It's got a new essay by Jonathan Owen, a new essay by Walt Chaw, and then there was an essay in their first release, and they ported that over, so you don't have to worry about losing that. Irina Kovarova wrote an essay on that one. And This release is incredible. Just for those that have never seen it, Pied Piper is a literal masterpiece of cinema. And I have to be honest, there are shorts on the first disc and the second disc that are like top of my favorites shorts ever. They're both incredible. We've got the Vanished World of Gloves that's on the first disc that I love, and then the Last Theft on the second disc is wild. People are going to find so much to love in this. It is such a great release. Please check this out when it goes up for pre-order. I cannot wait to have this.
Yeah, I can't wait to look at those shorts. Unbelievable.
And if that's not enough, we also get to talk about The Devil's Bride, also going up for pre-order on June 20th. Oh, look at that. Craig says for convenience, they put gloves on the second disc that was on the first disc as well. So all of the shorts are on disc 2. So you got 2 copies of gloves. Nice.
Cool.
So The Devil's Bride, this is going up for pre-order on June 20th from Deaf Crocodile as well. Deluxe edition box with incredible art. This is from 1974. And it's a Lithuanian rock opera.
The Lithuanian rock opera, the first one.
Tell us about The Devil's Bride, Will.
Oh, I love this movie. This was such a pleasure to work on. We did a visual essay called The One Who Carries a Tune. That's a quote from the film, Rock and Roll Sessions and The Devil's Bride. Of course, at this time, Lithuania was, under the yoke of the Soviet Union. And but the Lithuanians protested in various ways for decades. And one of the main forms of protest in the late 60s, early 70s were to have these, what were called sessions, these rock and roll concerts, because rock music, of course, was illegal. And as you can probably guess, our visual essay gets into a lot of the history of Lithuania at that time, under the yoke of the Soviet Union, and the different kinds of protests that were happening, book smuggling, rock and roll sung in Lithuanian language. The movie kind of uses Christian imagery to obscure its criticism of the Soviet bureaucracy. A lot of pagan versus Catholic imagery in the movie. Every word of the movie is sung, and the songs are pretty amazing. It's gorgeous. It's shot, in this beautiful countryside, the mountains, the forests.
From frame one, literally, the film opens and you're taken by the setting. It's compared sometimes to Jesus Christ Superstar, because that film had just been shown in some limited context in Lithuania, and it really kind of inspired, along with just rock and roll in general, smuggled records and listening to Radio Free channels. I can't recommend this one enough, whether we worked on it or not. It's just such an important historical document and such a really strange and unique artistic achievement. This was happening at the time that
really tragic protests. I mean, people were self-immolating in protest of the Soviet Union, and their deaths were being covered up. In fact, it wasn't until the early 90s that some of this history was uncovered for the first time. So you'll see some of that in the extras to give context to the film. But the more you learn about that context, the more amazing the movie becomes.
It's true.
So
this has a new interview with Monica Edgar on here about her father's career, who is the director, Runas Brunas. We've got a new video interview with Lithuanian film critic Ieva Sukti about the history of Lithuanian cinema. Our visual essay is on here. There's also an audio commentary that's not listed here that is on the disc by Michael Brook, incredible Eastern European essayist and commentator who does this quite often. We've got, in the deluxe edition, you got a 60-page book with writing by Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Walt Cha, and some rare production artwork and photos. But again, beautiful movie. There's comparisons to Ken Russell in the description. There's so much about this that I could recommend. It's we said the same thing about Sirius. This is definitely a sumptuous film. This whole movie is a visual feast. It's got a couple really funny sight gags that it does in a couple scenes, but it is beautiful storytelling.
I'll tell you one thing, man. And I'll say this knowing Craig is listening too, because this is a fact. Anybody who feels like they don't know enough about world history should get involved with Deaf Crocodile, because I think I've read more books in the past year and a half about about world history than my entire life up to this point. These films are not just wonderful in their own right, and if you're like completely against learning new things, you can still enjoy the movies. But if you take the time to do deep dives around, the historical context of each film that gets released, oh my gosh, you just learn so much. It was Socrates who said that the first sign of smartness is knowing that you know nothing. Operation Ivy also expressed this, and I want to express it now in the context of watching Deaf Crocodile movies. It's a humbling and rewarding experience.
I would agree.
Oh my gosh,
agree.
Craig's comment is very exciting, because those are the two continents that need the most attention of all.
He says they're trying to fill in the embarrassingly large gaps in South America and Africa in their releases. And all I got to say, the next 16 months of releases from Deaf Crocodile look very, very exciting.
Oh, my God.
Ronnie is happy with the Op Ivy reference. So am I.
Good. Yeah,
Scott for life.
Oh, and let me tell you, man, back to Malcolm McDowell, that guy could not have been happier to talk about his experience working with Karen Shakhnazarov on The Assassin of the Tsar. So, thanks, Deaf Crocodile. You gave me a way to become best friends with Malcolm McDowell.
Nice. All right. Well, thankfully, we still only have 86 releases to cover, so let's keep going.
Oh my God! You know what you guys should get? I've been for years. I've been wondering who would get it. So if you have it, say nothing. Los Olvidados, Luis Buñuel's classic Mexican film. To me, the holy grail of unreleased Luis Buñuel films. Los Olvidados, The Forgotten.
All right. Hopefully Craig is taking notes.
On the sleepaway camp. Speaking of Forgotten, Pamela Springsteen is so good in these movies. And listen, Felissa Rose is an icon.
Yes,
Okay?
absolutely.
She comes first. But I think Pamela Springsteen is great in these films. That's
all
it.
right.
Keep going.
August 12th, 4K release coming of Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers from 1988. This is a 4K release only. It does not have a Blu-ray disc. The reason for that is because Sandpiper Pictures released a Blu-ray. Shout Factory could not get rights for the Blu-ray while Sandpiper holds that. This is a new 4K restoration of the 35mm Inter Positive, not of an OCN. It's presented with Dolby Vision. It's got an audio, all kinds of extras that were on the last release. It's got a new looking at the making of the film with counselor Jeff Hayes, author of Sleepaway Camp, making the movie and reigniting the campfire. New interview with actor Brian Patrick Clark. New interview with special makeup effects artist Bill Johnson. And we got to go a little bit into the fact that everybody's all up in arms because somebody named John posted that they can't support these releases because he was not approached to help with these releases by Scream Factory. This got shared everywhere in all kinds of groups. This got a lot of attention. Other YouTubers out there making like, did Scream Factory get exposed? They didn't get people associated with the film and ask what they could do. He's a guy that runs a fan site. He was not necessarily going to be invited on to help with these releases. It makes no
It's not like he's a
sense.
YouTube podcaster or something.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah, this whole thing is a joke. There's a bunch of other people out there making full videos like shitting on Scream Factory, which they deserve it for a lot of things. This is not necessarily one of them.
I want to interject something. I'm not saying it was because of you. But in this slate that we're about to go through of Shout and Scream Factory releases, which objectively is one of the best slates in a long time. How many lobby cards and art cards are there?
I can't count a single one, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, not a one.
I will have some other things to beef about.
I salute you, Ryan Barrell, for your continued campaign against lobby cards.
I hoped that somebody sent a couple of those clips and they're just like, listen, the people do not want lobby cards. So yeah, this whole John controversy is blown way out of proportion.
They didn't ask my sister, professional editor on a multi-Emmy nominated documentary, to be on this either. And she wrote her senior term paper about the Sleepaway Camp franchise. I can't believe that she wasn't asked to be on board. I boycott.
Yeah.
Hell no, I'm buying this. Of course I am.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about all of that. It doesn't deserve the attention that it got. People just, I feel like, wanted a reason to complain about these. It is shocking, I guess, to say that these got 4K releases and that we're able to split these out by format. And while Sandpiper has Blu-ray rights, that we're able to get good 4K releases when the Sandpiper releases suck so much. So be okay with it.
Hey, John, where you going with that gun in your hand?
Not to mention, Scream Factory usually just upgrades things to 4K and doesn't do anything new. These got new extras. That's a plus.
So new. You know what, though? I feel like we're piling on, and, that guy's a human being. And what's he guilty of? Caring too much. And I'm not going to fault him for that. I would be disappointed, too, if I ran a semi-popular fan site and wasn't approached to be on the disc. So I just want to say to the camera, John, if you're out there, I know we just made a bunch of jokes, man. It's part of the format. Don't take it personal. I get it. All right, Camp 3. Michael J. Pollard, dude.
Michael J. Pollard, Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, also coming on August 12th on 4K. Again, no Blu-ray disc. This does have a new interview with songwriter-performer John Alton. That's it. Nothing else on here is new. Again, only 4K disc, but better than the Sandpiper Blue.
Fun fact, the movie was originally called Sleepaway Camp 3, Baba O'Reilly. But they found that nobody knew what they were talking about, and they changed it.
Such a good joke.
Thank you.
Wow. That was so good. This is where I start to bitch about Scream Factory, because this is just ridiculous. So for the Sleepaway Camp movies, you can buy 2 and 3 with a poster that is double-sided. They've got the Sleepaway Camp 2 poster on one side and the Sleepaway Camp 3 poster on the other. If you're buying this, it's probably because you like both movies, and now you can't hang both posters?
Well, you can if you put them on a window. Think about it, Ryan. If you're a Sleepaway Camp fanatic, you probably want to cover your windows anyway.
Okay. What's funny...
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but problem solved.
They also did this lithograph-looking thing with both titles on one, so you are getting 2 posters, but one of them has 2 and 3 on reverse sides, and then one has 2 and 3 together on one side.
Well, I can't wait to see what you have to say about Blaxploitation 2's poster. Keep going.
Yeah, this is a bad decision. This sucks.
Charge us an extra $50 and print 2 goddamn posters.
$50? It should have been free.
All right. What's about to happen is going to surprise you.
They're
Continue.
going for the second tower. August 12th.
Jesus.
August 12th, 4K release of World Trade Center from 2006. The Oliver Stone, which Shout Factory is seemingly all of a sudden the Oliver Stone distribution company. This is coming out on 4K. This has a 4K disc, a Blu-ray disc, all kinds of new interviews on the Blu-ray disc. This has so much on here. We got multiple audio commentaries, tons of new interviews, including one with John Bernthal. What did you just mute to do? I'm so curious. It's so quiet. So yeah, World Trade Center. I don't know that I've seen this. I've heard Nicolas Cage is quite good in this.
What?
I said I don't think I've seen this.
I agree with Stan Geezy. It's really good.
All right.
It's I'm not a jingoist, but it's not that kind of a movie. It's really well made, and I like it as a companion piece with W, which I think is one of the most underrated Oliver Stone films, and is in some ways a remake of Louis Buñuel. Speaking of Louis Buñuel's Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, it has some direct visual quotes. Watch W and then watch World Trade Center, and it really captures, I don't want to say zeitgeist, but it captures something major about that era really well. I think those two films are Stone's last uncontroversially really good movies. I'll say that.
All right. Next is we are getting a wide release now of Drag Me to Hell, the 4K Steelbook, and The Strangers, the 4K Steelbook. These were both previously Walmart exclusive releases. Now you can get them anywhere. Shout Factory just kind of toying with everybody on these. A lot of people getting upset with how they're doing Steelbooks. I'm not buying them really, so I get it. But, I mean, we're going to see in just a minute one of the crappy things they're doing. But, yeah, now you can get this anywhere. But let's talk about that Blaxploitation Classics Volume 2, because this is coming on 4K.
Okay, yeah, I like Drag Me to Hell. Continue.
We already talked about it when it got previously released.
I know.
August 19th. This is the second box set already. The first one is just shipping to everybody, and this one has
the titles.
Foxy Brown. Why don't you go through them then?
I can't see it.
Here.
It's too small. I got to go full screen, but then I won't be able to see the chat. Okay. So, Foxy Brown and Friday Foster, along with Coffee in the first set, that gives you arguably the three most important Pam Grier titles. I'm a big Sheba Baby fan. William Girdler represent. But, Cotton Comes to Harlem, Bucktown, the Slaughter films. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? The only way this could be better would be if the Mac was in it. Which, hey, maybe 3. And you know what? If you gotta continue with that box art in order to justify the restorations, fine. But I will join in with the chorus there. Extras on some of the films. We're here. Some of us teach these films in classes. I got a lot. I got a lot on these movies. So happy that obviously the movie is the most important thing, but I would like to see some extras. I don't like to say extras. I would like to see some supplementals, some extensions, some contextual material. But yeah, obviously this is an immediate purchase. And the price on the Shout website is, again, absolutely reasonable for what you're getting.
Yeah, like $22, something like that for each
per
4K,
movie,
basically.
But the poster, though.
I don't. The back of the poster is kind of silly with the 6 mini posters and Blaxploitation Classics Volume 2. That is kind of silly. I do think it's hilarious that everybody complained about the artist on the first box, and they said, you know what, fine, you're not getting any art moving forward. But the supplemental features is really the biggest thing here. The fact that we get nothing new, and yet they literally port over essentially all that they could on these barely cobbled together Blu-ray releases that came out previously. So we've got like a commentary with Jack Hill for Foxy Brown, which great. Good. I'm glad that's there. It should be carried over. Nothing wrong with that. But we should have new stuff.
Yeah, as you go through, I mean, there's nothing on Cotton Comes to
right.
There's nothing on most of them. The documentary looks great. Part 2 of the documentary. But yeah, all of these films deserve, at the very least, a commentary. And I don't know. I think there's a ton of podcasters and fan site operators and struggling academics out there who'd like to produce that kind of material.
I got to be honest. I definitely want to give credit where credit's due, because I've put Shout down many, many times to choose to put out 2 box sets of Blaxploitation Classics that are true Blaxploitation Classics and not just like Z-grade bad movies that most people have never heard of, and that they're going to big titles first. This is a huge deal, and Shout is incredible for doing this. I got to be honest.
Was that a veiled reference to Severin's release of Blackenstein?
No. Although on that note, if they do get a Volume 3 and it happens to have Abby, the world will explode.
Oh, speaking of William Girdler classics.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just do a William Girdler Blaxploitation set. They would only have 2 movies in it, but it'd be good.
All right, so that's Blaxploitation Classics.
Uh-oh.
It's also time to talk about Deathstalker and Deathstalker 2 coming in the most surprising 4K release from Shout ever, probably. August 26th, in a 4K double feature of some Wynorski verse stuff.
Well, the only surprising thing is that you've poisoned the well with Shout so much that they ignored the Wynorski stan that has been knocking on their door for years. Deathstalker 2 is probably Wynorski's best movie. Deathstalker 1 is a vestigial earlobe that cannot be sliced away. I don't care for the first Deathstalker. It has nothing to do with the second Deathstalker. The best scenes of the original Deathstalker are also in Deathstalker 2. There are no new extras, but that's okay because the commentary for Deathstalker 2 is so good that it's worth the upgrade just to keep the materials that are there. This is one of this is like the third Wynorski 4K upgrade, along with Return of Swamp Thing and I think something else.
Yeah, I think it's the third.
So it's definite for me. If you're a casual fan of the Deathstalker films and you already have the Blu-ray, then it's probably not necessary. But I prefer to see my Wynorski films in as sharp definition as possible.
In 2160p.
I cannot say who or what was said, but we got some choice Jim Wynorski stories from some guys who worked on some of his films in a recent interview that I don't think we're going to be able to I think they meet the legal definition of slander, but they were pretty funny stories.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a happy day. Deathstalker 2, Duel of the Titans. If you've never seen it, please do.
Next up, we've got our first single title from the Hong Kong Cinema Classics line that Shout is doing. They had the Jet Li box set that they previously announced. Now, August 26th, a 4K and Blu-ray dual format release.
You're welcome, world. I manifested
1987's City on Fire.
I manifested this. I take credit for this.
How's that?
It was in my wish list that I did on the New Year's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Ringo Lam directing, Chow Yun-fat starring. City on Fire is one that has been wish listed thousands of times over the years until Will did it and manifested it. So thank you.
This is great. This is great too. If you've ever seen Reservoir Dogs and you want to see the good movie that they describe, this is it.
So we got our first glimpse at what they're going to do to treat these single releases like. First, we got a new audio commentary with Frank Jang and F.J. DeSanto. That's great. The Blu-ray disc is going to have new subtitles. That's on the 4K disc as well. I don't know why I said it like that. It's got that brand new commentary and then a new interview with the screenwriter Tommy Sham. New Hong Kong Confidential Inside City on Fire with author Grady Hendrix, which is going to be great. Interview with Rick Myers, and then an interview with Kim Newman. Lots of stuff on this disc. I'm glad they are treating these well, it seems like. I mean, this looks great. It's got like one of the original posters on here. I know some people in the chat here don't love the cover, but second one purchase looks like a non-region one Blu-ray. Yeah, because it's original poster art. Yeah, this is incredible.
I really like the movie. It's one of Ringo Lam's best.
So now, again, this is not a dig at Shout, but we got to have the conversation because we did get the announcement that Arrow bought the rights for these over in the UK. And so Arrow is going to be releasing almost every single thing that Shout is releasing in the US. And a lot of people prefer Arrow's packaging / art choices / if we don't know if they're going to be identical extras. For me, I'm probably going to wait for an Arrow release on City
Look
City on
at you.
fire.
Can't let it go, can you?
I can't. Those lobby cards have poisoned the well.
But they got rid of lobby cards. Why are you holding them to the past?
Because they've ruined so much with that cardboard.
You just can't forgive.
I can't.
It's sad. All
All right. Next up, if that's simply not enough, Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 7. Volume 7. When this box set gets released, they will have, we're up to, I think it's like 89 films from Shaw Brothers that Shout has now put out, which is insanity for how quickly they've done that.
That's like 69 plus 20.
Right?
Nice.
Nice. Wow.
You idiot. Why do people watch this show?
I have no idea. So yeah, 11 films in each of these Shaw Brothers boxes. This one has the Imperial Tomb Raiders. This one has Legend of the Bat, the Shadow Boxer, the Spiritual Boxer, Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber, Heaven Sword and Dragon Saber 2, Shaolin Handlock, Swordsman and Enchantress, The Proud Twins, A Deadly Secret, and then all the way at the end, Heroes Shed No Tears. All of these get new extras. They don't hold back on anything. These box sets,
They got the Mudge Man on every single one.
They do.
That's what I'm saying. Go back to the blaxploitation, and how are we supposed to interpret this?
Yep.
You know, we're just going to let some of these films languish with no supplementals.
And then they announced the Mario Bava box set. Some of those films got 4 brand new commentaries.
I still have questions about that, but that's not for this week, is it?
No, it's not. So yeah, this is crazy. Ridiculously great box sets. They are doing so well with these 11 films in each one. We're up to, just from these 7 box sets, 77 titles. And the crazy thing, it's no crossover with Arrow stuff. So if you're collecting the Shawscope stuff, you've got just a wealth of great films that you can watch from Shaw Brothers Studios.
I have all 3 of the Shawscopes, and I don't have any of the Shaw Brothers Classics. And so what I've started doing is every time I get paid, I go to the gas station and play the lottery until I run out of money. And eventually, I mean, statistically, I have to win.
Someday.
Can you imagine? Norm MacDonald had a whole routine about us giving a lottery ticket as a gift, you know, and it's like, here's nothing, because like, what kind of nightmare would it be if it won? You don't want it to win.
Right.
So you're given nothing. And I always thought of that, like in my old job, for the first like 4 or 5 years of it, the department head in December would give everybody a lottery ticket as a gift at the end of the semester. And nobody ever won. Somebody like won $10 or something. But every year I hoped and prayed that I would win. And if not me, then somebody. Just so I could see his shit face.
Watch somebody quit on the spot.
Oh my God.
From a ticket that he gave him.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to be me, but if it couldn't be me, definitely somebody from like housekeeping and custodian, so that they could stand up and say everything that they've wanted to say for years to these entitled, abusive, administrative warts.
All right.
Anyway, this looks like a great set. I love Shaw Brothers stuff. And if I ever win the lottery, I'm just going to get all 7 at once. Fuck it.
Let's take a break from Shout for just a moment. Lionsgate Limited is having their first sale over on their website. It is a Father's Day sale. It is happening now. They've got 5 releases on sale. That's it. The 5 that you see in the picture. We've got The Conversation, The Third Man, Reservoir Dogs, You're Next, and Den of Thieves. Now, for a lot of people, this was very overwhelming because this was not a great sale. It's 40% off of MSRP, but for like The Conversation, it brought it down to I think $60 from $80. For Reservoir Dogs, it brought it to like $24, $25. But the other ones, like Your Next, is $35. It's like what a steelbook should be, basically. So a lot of people just not happy with the prices. But now Lionsgate Limited is willing to put some of their stuff on sale. So it's not necessarily a have to jump day one sort of thing, but also some of their titles have gone out of print. So if it's something that you want, you might want to check it out sooner than later. Back to Shout, though.
Father's Day, the holiday where you get yourself a present.
Thanks, me. August 12th.
Just so you know, I bought my own card today.
Ouch. August 12th, Shout Factory is doing it.
You know what's going to be funny? I'm going to have to fill it out myself, too.
Good Lord. August 12th, Shout Factory is doing an Amazon exclusive 4K steelbook for John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars. Mexifunk.
Much maligned.
Mexifunk is the one that did the art for this, and just like the film, the art is much maligned. Most people seem to hate this.
It looks like that one season of Walking Dead. I'll admit that.
Well, if that's not enough to get you enticed, they're also doing Prince of Darkness, a 4K steelbook. Same artist, Mexifunk.
Well, no, that's misleading.
Just a little misleading about the film, yeah.
I feel like the artist didn't necessarily watch it all the way through.
That is possible.
But at least they're not advertising it as sampled in Marilyn Manson.
And starring Alice Cooper.
Co-starring.
Yes, that was the joke. He absolutely does not star in that movie. So here's the thing. A lot of people are steelbook fanatics, steelbook collectors. For Shout, releasing a 4K steelbook months later, or even like 2 months later, kind of sucks. If you're going to put out a steelbook and the regular release of the film, do them both at the same time so people can make an informed decision. That is what some people want to do.
Yep. Well, I'll say Prince of Darkness, great movie. Ghosts of Mars, not a great movie, but worth another shot.
Mutual friend of ours, Mr. Stan Geezy, doesn't seem to like Prince of Darkness. I love this movie.
We diverge, Mr. Geezy.
I didn't love this movie until I saw it on the big screen. This one absolutely changed my feeling on it. Speaking of feelings.
Oh, my God.
September 15th, Curzon over in the UK is releasing a giant Michael Haneke box set. This is a 14-disc Blu-ray collection containing Michael Haneke's entire feature filmography, plus newly restored TV works from the acclaimed director. You've got all of the same films that are on the Umbrella set, and the inclusion of the U.S. film of Funny Games that he remade of his own film from 2007. It will have different extras than the Umbrella release. This does have the additional movie. It is a 14-disc set, just like the Umbrella release, oddly. And this one likely will be region B locked, even though Umbrella will likely be region free. I'm just curious what is holding up the rights with Funny Games US in the rest of the world. UK is the only one that's ever been able to get a Blu-ray of it. So very, very curious.
I got a story about that, but I tell you, man, usually when I pay to have my emotions toyed with, I have to promise not to look her in the eye. And so I like that I'll be able to buy this and look wherever I want. Funny Games, I think I told this story at some point in God, how long have I been on this show? 2 years? 3?
At least 2.5 hours, yeah.
No, year. Oh, yeah. 2.5. So in the year 2008, right? That's when it came out, right?
Funny Games, 2007.
2007?
Yep.
Okay. I was in San Francisco for a conference, and I was supposed to go to this conference with my old college mentor, Jeff. And Jeff was unable to attend because he had gotten sick and was in a coma. And they thought he was going to die. And so I went by myself. And I was feeling a little unsure about what was going to happen in life. So I went to the conference and I gave a presentation, which, by the way, was on Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. And this was the conference where I met my now longtime friend and co-writer Christopher Woofter. But anyway, I was there by myself. I didn't know Chris yet. We glanced at one another longingly, but hadn't really been introduced. And so I was just wandering around San Francisco. Had never been there before. Was kind of surprised at how fishy it smelled where we were. Anyway, I guess it's like a port. I don't know. It's by the sea. And so I went to a movie theater, and I was like, well, I guess I'll watch a movie. And it was Funny Games, the remake. And at that point, I hadn't seen the original. So I watched the remake and was like, fuck, this is cool. And then I got out, and it was still daylight, and I was like, well, shit, I want to see another movie. And the only one playing at just the right moment for me to sneak in was Adam Carolla's The Hammer. Have you ever seen that?
Thankfully, no.
No, it's actually pretty good. And I know what you're saying, what you're thinking. Adam Carolla has weird opinions. But but the movie turned out to be actually pretty good. I recommend The Hammer. I recommend The Hammer. I don't recommend it as a double feature with Funny Games, since The Hammer is a boxing comedy. But it has one of the all-time great scenes where Adam Carolla and oh shit, what's her name?
Jimmy Kimmel.
No.
Jennifer Beals.
No. The funny
Sarah Silverman.
No, stop it. Best in Show. Jane Lynch. Great scene of Adam Carolla and Jane Lynch in line together at LeRose or Home Depot, having a discussion over which types of nails to use when constructing an outbuilding. Anyway, I get back home, and Jeff has come out of his coma, and they thought he was going to die so much that the priest was there to do last rites. Came out of his coma. I went to see him in the hospital, and the first thing that sumbitch said to me was, "How much do I owe you for the hotel?" And I love that guy. He was the best.
Who knew that Michael Haneke stuff would bring tears to our eyes? As we talked about last week on the show, Bearded Film Guy, Chris's show, Beyond the Blood, is now on the podcast network, Someone's Favorite Productions. Welcome, Chris and everybody. Yeah, this is really cool. Check out their show. It is available everywhere you get your podcast. Yeah, good stuff. MVD Rewind announced that on September 16th on Blu-ray and DVD, they are releasing Best Christmas Movies Ever from 2024. It's a festive feature-length movie that takes you inside the making of your favorite holiday classics. It's a bit of a documentary. You got an audio commentary on here with the director, deleted and extended scenes, and collectible mini poster as usual, and some other featurettes as always. Curious about this one. Yeah. Next up, I hope Will comes back because I was going to ask if he had seen this one. September 16th, MVD, as part of their Smod Castle Cinema line, is putting out Big Helium Dog. This is from 1999, coming to Blu-ray and DVD or any home video format for the first time ever. Have you seen this, Will? You're still muted.
Wow, he's got tits.
I love how that's how you come back. Hey, we got a brand new HD transfer and restoration of the OCN.
Yeah.
Commentary from Brian Lynch. This is a Smod Castle film, executive produced by Kevin Smith.
Oh, I see.
We got multiple commentaries on here. Introduction by Kevin Smith and Brian Lynch. Q&A with the writer and director. Cast audition footage. All kinds of stuff. Yeah, I definitely want to see this one.
Look how many commentaries this get. Cotton Comes to Harlan. 0. That tells you what Hollywood hasn't changed a bit.
You are right. July 22nd, Madagascar, the DreamWorks animation film Madagascar from 2005, getting a 4K release from Universal. It will have Dolby Vision and HDR, Dolby Atmos, all of the ported over special features. Nothing new on Madagascar.
Well, in that case, I'd like to move it along.
As we did. That was good. Reminder that Odyssey Movies that just opened back on Mother's Day, they are still running their first month 10% off promo. So go to odysseymovies.com. And if you sign up for their rewards program, you get 80 reward points already in your account for free. So you only need to spend $50 to get your first coupon. Free shipping on 3 or more items packed in a box for collectors and all that fun stuff. Really good prices. Check it out.
All right.
Doing all right, Will?
Yeah, if you hadn't guessed, he did subsequently die. And I wish he hadn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
July 29th, Universal releasing another 4K steelbook for the film Nobody to take a chance at making some more money since the sequel is coming out this year. And it's the exact same disc as the first one, just in a fancy new 4K steelbook.
Yeah, if you kind of like John Wick, but you felt like you wanted someone who looked less capable of fighting, this is the movie for you.
And then even then, almost 5 years later, they'll film a sequel to it when he's even less capable.
Better call somebody else.
That's pretty good. July 8th, 4K Blu-ray DVD releases of The Amateur from this year, the Rami Malek and Lawrence Fishburne amateur spy intelligence type of film. Heard this was pretty decent. Have not seen it. It's actually got some good extras here. Fox
giving a trailer for that recently.
Giving a 4K release to this is pretty surprising.
Well, the premise that he would win a fight is pretty surprising.
That's true. That's true.
What is he, like a data analyst and he can't get anybody to help him? So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to become
first
impossible.
Somebody had to kill his wife first to get him to Hulk up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that would be most guys' reactions.
All right, we only have 86 more announcements tonight, so here we go.
How many more for real, though?
A lot, still.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Well, I guess I should stop being entertaining.
We still have 30 left. August 12th, Blu-ray coming to the U.S.
Still watching?
Tons of people still watching. They love you, Will.
Well, that's on them.
Blood Dolls coming from Full Moon on August 12th. Charles Band's outrageous 1999 hard rock Devil Doll classic. And if you want and you go to Full Moon, you can purchase for $50 and it will come with a signed 1/6 scale pimp doll with the Blu-ray.
You don't pay him the money directly, though. You got to go through a third party.
Go give it to the guy around the corner.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to get that blood doll.
Have you seen
I don't know no blood doll. I don't know no. What are you talking about? I don't know no blood doll.
Are you a distributor? If I ask if you're a distributor, you have to tell me.
No, I'm legit. I really want a blood doll. All right. Follow me.
Yeah.
You want some heroin?
Why? I mean, I know it's Charles Band, and that's the answer here, but it literally says "Act Now"
I love that.
on a Blu-ray promo.
I love that. It's meaningless, but we know what it means.
It's like that basically is the Charlie Band signature.
John Carpenter once said that if there was an apocalypse, he was sure that two species would survive: cockroaches and Charles Band. I think it was a compliment. I don't know. But either way, he'll still be around.
Wow. June 24th, Jenga Films is releasing the Bunny Game. Normally, I don't post many things from Jenga Films, but the Bunny Game is one that people have been wanting a good Blu-ray release of. This is Adam Rehmeyer, who also did...
Why?
What?
Is this the movie I'm thinking of?
Probably.
The torture movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Oh, where's the 4K?
Adam Rehmeyer has gotten popular because his last two films have been incredible. He did Snack Shack and he did Dinner in America. Both are incredible. And now you can get his 2011, very different than those two film, The Bunny Game.
Yeah, this one, you know, if you're a fan of Bob's Burgers, but you wish it were darker, this is your chance.
Oh man, does that mean it's inspired by Louise Buñuel?
People listening on the podcast aren't going to get that, but people who are watching are going to be like, "That was funny." I'll cash it in.
Did you read it?
I'm just kidding.
I was kind of against this, but I had somebody suggest it. I put up a shirt with a different logo for the Disconnected for Pride Month, and forever this is going to be available on the shop, and all proceeds from this always will get donated to the Trevor Project in full. So if you check this out, yeah, all of it goes donated. Nothing coming back to me, and I'm going to be doing what I can to add more to it every single time. So
this is for the blue days.
The ladies and gentlemen.
The four days.
The 4-day. Wait. They all got 4-day upgrades.
I hope so, because they deserve it. Listen, look, I want to be serious for a second. I know several people hate it when I say anything vaguely connected to reality, but that sumbitch Secretary of Defense with the pomade and the makeup trailer next to his office just ordered Harvey Milk's name to be taken off of the naval carrier that was named after him, and he ordered it on June the 1st. So you tell me what it means. And I find that, I mean, of all the things that I find offensive, I find that so unnecessarily mean.
Yeah.
And offensive and awful. And I could be saying that about many things. And I have been. But right now, this is the thing that I'm mad about. Yeah, exactly. It means he's an asshole. And I am sick of the reality television culture that glorifies assholes. I prefer the podcast culture that glorifies assholes because that's the one that I fit into. But there's different kinds of assholes, and that's really what makes them so great, is what I'm trying to say. What am I trying to say? Seriously, taking Harvey Milk's name down? Are you kidding me?
Makes no sense. Yikes.
So happy Pride Month, everybody. Fucking stand up. Everybody stand up and do what you can. Do what you must. All right.
Back to the show.
House of the Devil. Beautifully slow-paced.
Dark Sky Selects. We haven't heard anything from them for a long time, since everybody complained about their fake chainsaw that cost $200. And now they are back with a Blu-ray steelbook for House of the Devil. And this one ruffled some people's feathers because they were excited that they had the second sight release and they didn't have to worry about this. But now this got 4 brand new extras as well. So if you really love Ty West or this film, there are 3 now releases of this movie. I believe all of them having exclusive extras. So great. Good movie. I like this one.
Well, we've talked about Ty West before, so.
We have. Are you ready to talk about Troma?
Oh, yeah.
Shakespeare's Shitstorm, finally, after 5 years, getting a home video release, coming on September 16th on 4K and Blu-ray from Troma, with an intro by Lloyd Kaufman, producers and cast commentaries, a heaping serving of Troma, trailers, Radiation March, I've Been Traumatized, Troma in Times Square, full-length behind-the-scenes doc, and more. Have you seen this one yet?
So I just noticed that it had been added to my Troma Now. I do subscribe to Troma Now. I don't think I can wait. I'm going to go ahead and watch it probably this weekend. I might do it as a double feature with the dirty cut of Dirty Work. Love Troma. Love Lloyd Kaufman. Did I tell the Lloyd Kaufman story?
You did.
Okay, fine.
Craig pointing out he went and checked, and yes, you can get a real chainsaw for less than $200, making fun of the Dark Sky Selects thing. For the record, when the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K from Dark Sky with the fake chainsaw got announced, somebody went and did the math, and there was a way to buy the 4K of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a real chainsaw for less than what Dark Sky Selects was charging for Texas Chainsaw 4K and a fake chainsaw. We're getting a 4K release of Shakespeare's Shitstorm. That's pretty wild.
Let's talk about this. So this is a loose adaptation of The Tempest.
The Tempest.
Which is one of Shakespeare's more interesting later plays, one that is of great interest and significance to modern-day post-colonial scholars, because it gets into some questions of the British Empire and, how some of the stuff they did wasn't so great. It gets into questions of enslavement and dominion and patriarchy and stuff, but also has like a lot of comedy. The Tempest is really, well, allegedly, Stan. Some would say Shakespeare's housekeeper continued to write plays well into her dotage. But anyway, The Tempest was the last-ish Shakespeare play, and it's fantastically strange, and I can't wait to see the adaptation, which will do what every Shakespeare adaptation should do and add more scatological humor. And Scott Keeling, thank you so much for bringing that up. We do need a Blu-ray of Merchants of Death, which is the most fantastic Troma licensed movie that has not yet been released by Vinegar Syndrome. Merchants of Death with PJ Souls, William Smith, and some other people. It's so good. When you guys see it, has anybody in the chat actually seen Merchants of Death? If you see Merchants of Death, you'll know why I'm so insistent about it. But anyway, Shakespeare's Shitstorm. And yes, Sibner, I am a Moliere guy. I'm done.
All right. That was Trauma. Next up, I just wanted to shout this out for people that didn't know about this. Anybody that's been around physical media for a handful of years and remembers Garage House Pictures, Harry, that ran Garage House Pictures, is now running the Gap Theater in Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, and it's got some pretty incredible programming that they're doing. They're doing a Friday the 13th marathon, all in 35 millimeter. They're playing Riccio, Streets of Fire, Rocky Horror Picture Show at midnight, Near Dark. All kinds of great things. Go check them out if you're within driving distance.
Where is this?
Wind Gap, Pennsylvania. Yeah, check it out. August 4th in the UK. We've already talked about the US release of this, but Paramount is releasing a 75th anniversary collector's edition of Sunset Boulevard over there. This gets 4 times collectible Paramount original lobby cards, a Billy Wilder director trivia card, a reproduction of Norma's Note, a capacity wallet designed like the script, collectible street sign, 2 fold-out posters, 6 art cards, and a photo book.
How do you feel about these cards?
That's quite a lot.
And
yet, all of this stuff is cheaper than one of the old Scream Factory sets with the lobby cards. Isn't that wild?
I feel like it should have included a pack of playing cards since that's such a pivotal prop.
Would have made sense.
Yeah. So the Gap Theater is 7.5 hours from where I live. Think it's worth it?
To go for certain things, yeah, it'd be worth it. Well, and actually, I should go back to this because Simner is saying you can only attend 1 week. Which one do you pick? Let me.
What are my options? Oh, Titanic for sure.
You're ridiculous. Let me pull that comment down. We might be able to see the full month here. So, Scanners, Teresa and Isabel, Streets of Fire, Friday the 13th Marathon. And then the Guns of Navarone. That's not a bad week. Near Dark, Napoleon Dynamite, Lady Sings the Blues. Oh, Hedwig and Knife Plus Heart is a great double feature. Labyrinth.
I think the Scanners week is probably it for me.
It looks pretty great, yeah. And then you cap it off with You Only Live Twice at the end.
No, that's a different week. Guns of Navarone.
No. Oh, hello. You said Scanners. I was looking at Near Dark. I would probably pick the Near Dark week.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go back to back then.
Yeah, I don't need to see all the Friday the 13th. Even though, I mean, the fact that they're playing them at 35 millimeter is pretty damn rad.
Yeah. It's the 45th anniversary this year.
That's true. True. All right. Going from Sunset Boulevard to ridiculous censorship. July 9th, 4K in Australia, Madman Films is releasing Crocodile Dundee, quote, the encore cut.
It's compromised.
They have cut out 2.5 minutes of this movie.
Does he say un-PC things?
Yes. They took out the cross-dressing scene entirely.
So now Crocodile Dundee joins the French Connection.
Yes. The French Connection was just on streaming, though, so far.
In the only time it will join the French Connection.
So a lot of people are saying that there is rumored to be a Paramount 4K that's coming out that they hope to be uncut. Supposedly, Paramount was the ones behind the cut. So
we're good with Some Like It Hot and Tootsie and She's the Man and Sorority Girls and Shall I Go On? But Crocodile Dundee, I actually don't even know. It might very well be offensive. I'm not even sure I've seen Crocodile Dundee. Do you know what it is? That's been. You just said a cross-dressing scene.
There's a cross-dressing scene, and there's a couple slurs that are involved with that, I believe.
They just put out Ace Ventura on 4K. I don't think they cut Sean Young's scenes, did they?
I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing, and Ronnie's right. Yes, it is a very transphobic scene. Not taking that away. I don't love the comedy in it or the jokes or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I think you show your thoughts on the film by not buying it.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what I'm doing with the Ace Ventura movie. But to cut it is to pretend like it didn't happen.
Right.
And,
If you need to put some sort of disclaimer at the beginning, do what you got to do. But it should be
like the Tom and Jerry cartoons, get Whoopi Goldberg to come out and say, look, what you're about to see is going to have some problems. But if we tried to cut them all.
And you know what's funny? There's so many people up in arms about this cut. This film was only ever shown uncut in Australia. The rest of the world already had a cut version of the film. So yeah, I don't know. You don't need to pretend that the jokes didn't happen. We should learn from it.
I agree with Ronnie 100%. It's something that has to be confronted and dealt with. And sometimes when I'm talking with students who have grown up in certain contexts where they're like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? Like that these problems have been solved. You can point to moments in films like Crocodile Dundee and Ace Ventura and stuff and say, see, here's the problem. Just a few decades ago, you would casually make this joke and not worry about any kind of reaction because it was just like, okay. But it wasn't okay. It wasn't okay then. It's not okay now. And it's the same thing as people say, oh, well, so-and-so grew up in a different time. And it's like, no, what are you saying? They were idiots? No, they knew it was wrong. They knew it was wrong, just like the people who were being oppressed knew it was wrong. But the people who were making the jokes or making the comments or making the racist slurs or the homophobic slurs could get away with it. And this is my whole problem with the backlash against cancel culture, which, there certainly have been examples of people who got unfairly or falsely accused, sure. But the whole thing about cancel culture, so-called, is that it doesn't really exist unless people give power to it. Right? Like, Louis C.K. is fine. Dave Chappelle is fine. They took a PR hit for a little while, and now they're doing the same shit that they've been doing.
Still touring big venues.
So, and now people are just like, yeah, like there's backlash. And I don't get that,
Yeah.
When you fuck up, be accountable for it, be embarrassed about it, be ashamed of it, and grow. And we see this with the streaming services removing certain episodes of 30 Rock and South Park and all that stuff. Fuck you. If you want to make money off of something, you need to own what it is. And if you have, as many people do, a new perspective on, hey, like some of these jokes in 30 Rock and It's Always Sunny and South Park, not cool, right? I get that the creator's intentions might have been different than, say, frickin' who's that rodent guy, the conservative rodent, Ben Shapiro. Might have been different than somebody like Ben Shapiro, but it's still not okay. And you can say, okay, this happened, this exists, it's not okay, but we think you can handle it, and we think we think you need to know that it did happen, so that you know why you don't want it to happen anymore.
Exactly.
For those of us who don't experience that kind of shit directly, I don't know.
So yeah, my suggestion: do not buy Crocodile Dundee, the encore cut.
There's so many reasons not to buy Crocodile Dundee.
So many reasons.
Here's a good one.
You know what has more reasons not to buy it? Crocodile Dundee 2 coming on 4K for Madman as well on July 16th. And we'll just go to the next one because we spent enough time on that. VCI releasing Santo versus Infernal Man from 1961, or Infernal Men, sorry. This is odd because Indicator released this, and I don't think that the Indicator release was out of print. I'm very curious what's going on here. No extras listed on this as far as I can tell, so VCI just making sure that the release is available out there.
This is probably the movie Christy Nome imagines she's in.
Wow. Next up, September 30th.
Right. Sorry, I know
that was really
political.
funny.
That was political.
Well, it's better because she's my boss. September 30th.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I don't like her either.
Dude. I think this podcast is why I can't find a job.
Same. September 30th, Lightyear Entertainment is doing a Blu-ray of Harley Flanagan, Wired for Chaos from 2024. Harley Flanagan is a punk rock hardcore legend known as the father of New York City hardcore and the founder of the pioneering band Cro-Mags. Bunch of extras listed on here. Yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm so glad that we're getting more and more of these released over the last year and a half or so.
You know what? We really need to give more platforms to angry white guys. And I'm glad that we have this opportunity. No, I'm kidding. I love Cro-Mags.
All right. Going to the... Never mind.
Said the angry white guy on a platform.
Next up, September 30th, Blu-ray from VCI as the third release in their Psychotronica line, The Mermaids of Tiburon, and they made sure that you knew this is the nude version. It says this film was produced and directed in 1962 as a fantasy adventure by noted underwater cinematographer John Lamb. 2 years later, he chopped out 10 minutes, reshot the close-ups and medium shots of the mermaids, revealing the enchantresses in the nude, with emphasis on actress Gabby Martone. Released it as the Aqua Sex. 23 years later, Lamb took the time to re-edit his epic like he really wanted, and just to make sure added additional nude footage using glamour model Diane Weber. The result is a beautifully photographed fantasy about mermaids who assist and distract a young scientist in his quest for sunken treasure.
He's trying to sink some treasure, all right. Hey, if you love boobs and sushi, this is the movie for you.
Oh, man. What a line. What a line. Craig says, this is at least the third film tonight touting the titties as a selling point. Don't worry, Craig. We're not done. There's at least two more, I think.
Wait, what is SMDH? Damn head? Shaking
Yes.
my damn head?
Yes.
I got it.
Next up, VCI on September 16th, putting out Tulsa Terrors from 2024. It's a new documentary exploring the direct-to-video horror boom of the mid-1980s, which was sparked in Tulsa, Oklahoma, spearheaded by United Entertainment, now VCI Entertainment founder Bill Blair. The movement began with the shot-on-video film Blood Cult in 1985, and it's a documentary on all of that.
All right.
Next up, September 16th, Liberation Hall putting out the Buster Keaton Show on Blu-ray. This is from 49 and 50. The picture shows a DVD cover, but it is a Blu-ray. Found confirmation on that. These episodes were restored by renowned archivist and preservationist Jeff Joseph and have been digitally upgraded to HD. 3 comedians are in close-up in HD as bonus materials. This Is Your Life TV episode with Buster Keaton in HD, Circus Time in HD, Cops in SD, and The Goat in SD. This just seems like a win for preservation stuff.
Oh, well, Buster Keaton was the GOAT. So I will happily be adding this to my collection of Buster Keaton things.
Lots of random extras, too, TV episodes that you won't get a chance to own elsewise. Well, that's pretty cool. Following up Buster Keaton with the John Wayne Gacy murders, Life and Death in Chicago, coming from MVD on September 16th as part of their MVD visual line. Yeah. Thankfully, this comes with outtakes. Ronnie asking the real question: are there any boobs in the Buster Keaton show? None that they're advertising, at least.
I'm picturing the bloopers in the John Wayne Gacy murders, like Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw Massacre tried to do the hammer.
Damn it!
Yeah, I guess Busty Keaton. If you had the Busty Keaton show, then you'd have something there.
Is that new Diane Keaton?
The
second Diane Keaton reference tonight.
Yeah. Well, anyway, on we go.
On we go. This one's a little bit of a better movie, probably. August 11th, 4K in the UK from the BFI of Akira Kurosawa's The Hidden Fortress from 1958. Brand new 4K restoration. This has a new commentary by Japanese cinema expert Tony Raines. It's a wonderful to create Hidden Fortress from 2002 featurette. Interview with George Lucas from 2001. And then first pressing, there's an illustrated booklet with a new essay by Kenta McGrath. This absolutely means Criterion will be releasing this on 4K eventually. You can count on that.
Well, I should hope we'll eventually be getting complete Kurosawa 4K, but this is great. I love Hidden Fortress. It's anytime you think you might watch a Star Wars movie, stop and watch Hidden Fortress. Just stop. Don't do it.
Next up, Herzog's.
Wait. Speaking of Star Wars, I got it. This is so funny. You know, Ross Douthat. He's a conservative columnist for the New York Times, but he's also a film critic. His most famous essay was on the paranoid style in 70s cinema, which is actually a pretty good essay. He's on Bill Maher all the time. You know, he's one of those conservatives who's like, "Hey, Bill Maher, I'll come on your show and pretend to laugh at your idiotic jokes." So anyway, he just had Tony Gilroy on. Is that his name? Andor?
Yes.
He just had, since Trump...
Dan. I think they both work on it. Both of the Gilroys.
Well, this was Tony, I think.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
That's fine. I do. That's like my whole role, to do the
And it's been said publicly.
It's funny how we started and how we are now. Anyway, Ross Douthat's new podcast is called Interesting Times because he's such a funny conservative. He likes to reference that famous Chinese proverb, may you live in interesting times. He's a radical Catholic conservative, but also not a huge Trump guy, but he tries to find like a way to justify Trump stuff. And I'm not passing judgment. I'm just describing who he is. This is what he'd say. So anyway, he has Tony Gilroy on, and his whole thing is the thing he wants to get is, why is art progressive? And he's trying to suggest that Andor, which I have not seen yet, because it doesn't come till way later in my list of things I have to watch. But his argument is that Andor is a leftist show because it sympathizes with these rebels against the Empire, and the Empire is presented as this right-wing fascist thing, and it's like, duh. But Gilroy is like, I'm not thinking about politics. I'm just trying to make a show about droids and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Douthat is pushing it like, this is clearly left wing, and I disagree with the politics, but I enjoy the show. And Gilroy goes, so do you identify with the Empire? And I'll give Duke that props for one thing. He kept it in the episode, but it was a devastating comeback.
Nice.
Because he's like, no, I don't. I don't identify with the Empire at all. Speaking of empires.
BFI continues August 25th, putting out a 4K of Aguirre, The Wrath of God from 1972. We talked about this recently because Shout is releasing it on 4K as well, which means this will be a better release from the BFI. We've got a feature-length audio commentary with Herzog on both Aguirre and Fata Morgana. The Unprecedented Defense of the Fortress from 1967, 60-minute symbolic drama about 4 young men hiding from an imagined enemy. Last Words from 1968, a bunch of other shorts. Kinski or Herzog, anything you want to talk about. Go right ahead.
Well, I was reading Kinski's autobiography when my plane almost blew up on my way to visit you.
So yeah, I remember.
There's that. I mean, this film is incredible. Second only to Fitzcarraldo in Kinski-Herzog collaborations. One of the great ending scenes in any movie, in my opinion. Kinski was a problematic character, but a very compelling actor. And I think Craig's right. The cover art there does make it kind of look like a TV movie, but
a little bit, yeah.
But it's decidedly not. It's gorgeously shot. I mean, like, this is going to sound weird. I think one of the most amazingly shot movies ever is Ruggero Deodato's Jungle Holocaust, a.k.a. whatever Severin calls it now. Last cannibal movie or something?
Yeah.
Because they take the cameras in the film into the jungle and everybody's nude and clearly being eaten alive by insects. And it's like, how are you doing this? And Aguirre, The Wrath of God, along with Fitzcarraldo, same thing. They're taking the crew and the equipment into this incredibly, and if you've seen Burden of Dreams, which I think somebody mentioned earlier, that interview with Herzog when he's talking about the younger is screeching pain. You know what I mean? Like it's the most hostile place to possibly make. I'd rather make a movie in the Saharan desert than in the Amazonian jungle,
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. And I think Aguirre is beautiful and insane and incredibly revelatory about human nature.
Well, if that's not enough for you, they are also doing Nosferatu, the Vampire, on 4K on September 22nd.
No way.
Got the poster right over there on the other side of the room right now. This has a bunch of the archival extras on here. They're going to announce other extras to be confirmed later.
Well, I hope both versions are there.
Surely. They have not specified.
Surely.
I would hope so.
Well, another great one.
Another one from BFI. They're doing Object Z on Blu-ray on September 22nd. This is from 1965. This says, unseen since its first transmission on ITV in 65, this vintage 6-part Rediffusion sci-fi serial will delight all aficionados of the glorious golden age of British television drama. This has all of the episodes associated with it, all 6 of them. And I had never heard of this before today.
I think it's a B-52 song.
2 Diane Keaton references, 2 B-52 references. This has been a good show.
Speaking of titties, you ever seen that Diane Keaton movie, The Family Stone?
I have not.
Well, there's a scene where she...
trying to make a sly joke, and I can't think of one.
Well, look, if you want me to stay, you're going to need to shut up and listen to the song, the rest of the story. But anyway, in Family Stone, there's a scene where Diane Keaton, she's had a mastectomy, and there's a scene where she like opens up her shirt, and there's like, I guess they CGI'd it or something.
Yep.
And I went to see it in the theater with my girlfriend at the time, and when that happened, I wept. I was hit. It hit me. It's not a great movie, but like, it hit me, and I was just like, God damn, she feels that absence of tit. And I want you to know, I wasn't going to make a joke. Sibner made me do it.
All right, let's carry on. August 26th, Sony putting out a 4K steelbook of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It is happening. There is some extras on the Blu-ray disc. This is a big one for a lot of people. How do you feel about Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
I mean, it's great. Meaning of Life is my favorite of the Monty Python. But I remember my uncle showed me Monty Python and the Holy Grail for the first time when I was in high school, and it was the first Monty Python. I'd never seen the show or I'd even heard of him because I was just some stupid American. And he showed it to me, and I was like, "Whoa, this movie makes no sense whatsoever," and it's kind of funny. And it definitely led me to some good stuff. But Meaning of Life is a masterpiece. It's the best thing those guys ever did. And I highly recommend the extended, like the version that has all the sketches that they cut out from the theatrical release. It makes the whole thing better.
This is my third favorite. Meaning of Life is absolutely number one. Life of Brian is number two for me, and then this is number three. And that's not saying this is bad or anything. This is still great.
It's way better than Wayne's World 2.
Oh, man. I know there was some confusion in comments earlier because of how Sony worded this in the press release. It says there is under special features, near theatrical version of the film in HD resolution. You get the full version of the film on the 4K, so don't worry about that. There is an old... there's a cut. I don't remember how long it is. It's like 26 seconds that they added to the theatrical version for a joke that doesn't work real well. And so I think they cut that out for the theatrical version. And the near theatrical version is slightly different for one specific joke that sucks. But this looks cool.
Is it a non-PC joke?
No, it's literally a joke about like...
just a bad joke?
It's like, they break the fourth wall for a second, and they're like, do you think this joke is working? Do you think it'll get cut out? And what's funny is the joke works if you leave it in the movie, but also if you cut it out. But when you leave it in the movie, it ruins the pacing of the film entirely. It doesn't work at all. Yeah. Next up, Altered Innocence announced their next title. August 12th, Blu-ray in the U.S. of The Maiden from 2022. This says a perfect summer day ends in tragedy, weaving a cosmic connection between three suburban teenagers. Best friends Colton and Kyle float the river, trade dreams, and spray paint in the local ravine. Like the boys, Whitney explores the ravine, seeking solace by writing and drawing in her diary. But when her best friend abandons her, Whitney disappears. This is shot on 16 millimeter, and it comes with a booklet with cast photographs. Got a commentary with the cast and crew, some deleted scenes, BTS features, and more. Indeed.
All right. I'm into it.
Next up, Dark Force releasing a wide release of The Beast and the Vixens from 1974 on August 19th. Don't usually talk about Dark Force, but they've been making some different changes. So their stuff is going to be coming out widely from MVD and Kino, depending on which release in the future. I know a lot of people are turned off by Dark Force, myself included, but even I got to admit they've had a couple decent titles in their catalog. This is another one selling the film with titties. Yeah.
OSHA went to the Dark Force. Spoiler alert. Acolyte. The Beast and the Vixens, a.k.a. Ladies' Night When I Go to the Club.
I thought this is known as two other films, and I really thought or two other titles, and I thought you were going to say one of those.
I don't know. I don't know what this is.
That makes sense. I believe this is a roughie.
Oh. Well.
Or maybe that's the next one we're about to talk about. I'm not sure. Let's keep going. Ride a Wild Stud is the next Dark Force title coming on August 19th. Oh, no, this is the roughie. So this says a Civil War raider kidnaps women for a brothel, prompting a lone cowboy to ride for revenge in this gritty, low-budget exploitation Western. And this says it's the 50th.
I thought it was a movie. I thought it was a movie about a husband trying to hang up a picture.
The movie starts with him going beep 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 beep.
Oh my God! Talk about the worst part of any day. I swear to God, no stud finder ever made works.
Oh man, that was funny. And then the Golden Triangle getting a wide release from them on August 19th as well. Yeah,
I gotta address some slander. When your Stud Finder movie came up, Sidner said that I perked up, and I just want to deny that. I'm not sure I've perked up at any point this week.
I can attest to that.
Well, I don't know that was helpful.
It's been a rough week.
It might be the reason. If you're attesting.
Oh man!
All right,
let's just keep going.
Let's talk about the Golden Triangle for a second.
We're past it. It already got a release from Dark Horse on their website a little over a year ago.
This is quite appropriate, actually.
It is. August 4th, Blu-ray in the UK from 88 Films as part of their French collection of I Am Frigid, Why from 1972.
I'm married to Dodson.
This is the Max Picus film. Has been released in the U.S. by one Mondo Macabro.
Thank goodness she's asleep right now.
You can pre-order this now. Next up is The Cannibal Man coming on August 4th on Blu-ray in the UK from 88 Films. This is the same Cannibal Man that was released by Severin in the US, directed by Eloy de la Iglesia. I need to rewatch this one because I did not love it the first time. Can I finish my sentence where I say I'm wrong?
I guess.
All right, no, it's okay. Fuck you too. I think the big thing is I just wasn't prepared for the politics behind the movie, and learning more after definitely helped. Knowing the era that was in, and that the bad guys can't get away with anything, definitely changes the way you view the context of the film.
Let me tell you, anybody out there who's thinking of watching this movie for the first time, I want to recommend a book. Ian Olney. The book is called Euro Horror. That's hard to say. The Rural Juror. Euro Horror. Classic European horror cinema in contemporary American culture. And it's about kind of reception of a lot of these European, especially Italian, Spanish, and French horror films of the 70s and 80s. Fulci, Argento, all the cannibal films, Deodato, etc. and it's a great book, and really, I was talking earlier about when we were talking about Deaf Crocodile, about the historical context, really helping you appreciate the films more. It's a great book. Highly recommend it. Ian Olney, Euro horror, or as Sibner says, gyro horror, Euro horror, whatever.
Hero horror.
Hero horror.
Yeah, so check that out.
Cannibal has a lot of fun.
There's some good gore in it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Next, August 4th, as part of the Tygon collection, 88 Films doing a Blu-ray and DVD release of Neither the Sea Nor the Sand from 1972. This is the same film that came out from Vinegar Syndrome as part of their Black Friday sale last year.
Good double feature with the David Lynch Dune.
This has a limited edition booklet with notes by Barry Forshaw and Andrew Graves, and it looks like the extras are pretty much the same on this.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Rats, Night of Terror, coming on 4K and Blu-ray in the UK from 88 as part of their Italian collection on August 11th. Brand new 4K remaster from the original negative. This one is going to have an audio commentary with Eugenio Ercolani and Troy Howarth. Interview with the co-director, one Claudio Fragasso. Interview with Fausto Lombardi. Interview with a couple of the actors, AD, composer, and more. Bruno Mattei.
Huh. Well, that's an interesting contrast with the recent Severin release.
It sure is.
Which we definitely sold out of at Fear Fest. That was I love Rats. I think that's a good movie. Some interesting extras there. Different? Are we talking about a different restoration, different transfer?
It's likely the exact same transfer as Severin.
Okay.
The encoding might be slightly different, but yeah, the big difference here is Eugenio definitely produced a shit ton of extras for this.
Well, all right. We'll think about that.
Yes, we will. Then, August 18th, 4K Blu-ray release from 88 of Scum from 1979. This is the Alan Clark film that Indicator released years ago in a really nice limited Blu-ray release, now getting a 4K upgrade. All kinds of extras on here, including an audio commentary with Troy and Eugenio again, commentary with Kim Newman and Sean Hogan, a bunch of interviews. There's a lot coming in this package. Scum, great movie.
Is there any word on the rest of the Alan Clark movies? Because I have that Blue Underground DVD box set.
Oh, wow, yeah. No, I've not heard anything else. Yeah, nothing at all.
So Scum's the only one?
So far.
And as soon as I buy it, there will be an announcement for a box set.
Buy Blue Underground in the States, and it'll be great.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Almost done now. Getting close. Release date changes. 88 Films has updated all of these to be August 25th. That is Come Drink With Me on 4K. That's a UK release. Devil Fetus Blu-ray, August 25th. American Pie, The Wedding on Blu-ray, also known as American Wedding. And then The Cat Blu-ray in the US is now coming on August 26th. August 26th. But this is not really surprising. 88 Films literally delay stuff every single month.
Well, it happens. Oh, here we go. Speaking of politics.
Big deal time. July 8th, Warner Brothers releasing a complete Blu-ray set of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, the 1993 to 97 TV series with Terry Hatcher and Dean Cain. First time on Blu-ray anywhere in the world. For many people, this is their favorite Superman depiction. This is a pretty big deal. This was a big entry into Superman lore for a lot of people.
I have a question. What do people think of the James Gunn Superman? I'm sure we've all seen the trailer.
Honestly, I'm kind of excited, which I didn't think I was going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, man. I hate Superman as a character. Always.
Just boring.
Yeah, he's boring. You know,
I get it.
kind of fascist, like even more so than Batman.
Definitely more so than Batman.
I mean, his name literally is Ubermensch. So, but I tell you, the presence of the super dog in the trailer kind of like makes me think, eh. But then again, all three Guardians of the Galaxy I liked for the first hour, and then it became daddy issues. And I know Superman's going to become daddy issues. So
Guardians 2 specifically got daddy issues.
I guess come to think of it, Romeo and Juliet's got a lot of daddy issues. James Gunn has daddy issues. It's in Slither too.
Yeah.
And Super's
good.
Really working through the daddy issues.
All right, Lois and Clark Adventures, New Adventures of Superman. They've also got some special features on here: the making of, pilot commentary. They've got Secrets of Season 2, trivia challenge, stuff like that. This looks pretty cool for people who love Superman.
I'll tell you one advantage this show has over the more recent The Adventures of Lois and Superman. No children. The kids in the new show, oh my God.
I have not seen any of the recent glut of stuff like from when Arrow and After came out.
Well, I watched all the CW Arrowverse shows, so that's why I had to see all 3 seasons of Superman and Lois.
Oh boy.
And boy, those kids. Yeah, let's move on to whatever this is.
Something about nudity. September 30th, the 4th entry into the VCI Psychotronica collection is coming, and it is the Raw Ones from 1965. And this literally on the cover says the word schwing.
Oh, wow. Everything goes back to Wayne's World.
So this says in 1957, the Supreme Court ruled that nudity in and of itself is not obscene. This decision opened the door.
Depends on who it is, but okay.
To nudist camp documentaries. This one is padded to the sprocket holes. Wow. With nude figure models, jumping rope, bouncing on the trampoline, snapping each other with towels, and lots more of what was formerly forbidden fruit from the original 35 millimeter negatives.
Was Mike Myers a producer or something? What's the deal?
VCI.
This movie makes me verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves.
That was pretty good. All right. Last announcement. July 15th, Blu-ray in the U.S. from Sony of Stop, Look, and Laugh from 1960, The Three Stooges.
The original.
The original, too. Pretty damn cool.
No shimps in this joint.
That sounded mildly racist. All right. That was a joke.
Until it gets aggregated. Like, what could shimp be a reference to?
Nothing. That's why it was a joke. Anyways, are you a Three Stooges person?
Oh yeah.
I was going to say who isn't, but then Kubrick Lover says not a Three Stooges fan.
I mean, it's the fundamentals of humor.
It's slapstick bare bones, yeah.
You know, it's we wouldn't have if not for the Three Stooges. Where would Rob Dyrdek be today?
Definitely not reruns on MTV. All right. As usual, in case you forgot, what is coming out this week? Sean Connery 007 4K set, Swordfish 4K from Arrow, The Wiz 4K from Criterion, Lord of Illusions 4K from Scream, Working Man 4K, Drop 4K, Return of the Living Dead 4K Steelbook, Dead Zone 4K Steelbook, standard release of I Married a Strange Person from Deaf Crocodile, 11 Rebels 4K, 4K of Gwen in the Book of the Sand. We know that title.
Good one.
The Creep Tapes from Shudder, Dexter Original Sin, Crash and Burn from Full Moon, Terminus from MVD, Shoestring Slashers finally shipping from TerraVision.
Hey, all right.
Borderline getting a Blu-ray release, Bad Channels from Full Moon, Dr. Jekyll and the Werewolf 4K standard, Freckled Max and the Spooks, another standard that we know about.
Hey.
Champagne and Caviar from Flicker Alley, Clark Gable 4-film collection from Warner Archive, Reality Killers, The Pusher, Alien Tear from Raro, Cathedral of New Emotions standard from Deaf Crocodile, Elizabeth Taylor 4-film collection, J-Horror Rising standard, Sour Party from Anchor Bay.
It's a lot of good stuff. Definitely on the J-Horror, the Crash and Burn, the Bad Channels, the what was that Flicker Alley one?
Oh, that is the comedies collection.
Yeah, Champagne. Oh yeah, the German comedies.
Yep.
I love watching German comedies because like what they think is funny is so weird. And I think that if I could make a German laugh, I could die happy. I recently saw, I think it was on Netflix, a German stand-up comedian, and it was like subtitled. And I'd never seen a stand-up session in another language before. And it made me realize, like, I'd never even thought of stand-up comedy in other languages. And so I'm watching this German tell jokes, and I'm reading the subtitles. And of course, reading the subtitles, not funny. You know what I mean? Which then reminded me that, like, almost all the movies I watch, which are in foreign languages and subtitled, I'm like, really not quite getting it. But watching the German stand-up comedian in subtitles just made me want to see other comedians in other cultures and other languages. Yeah, subtitled or not, I just want to like hear the rhythm of it and like when people laugh and how they laugh and stuff.
Right.
And do all cultures have stand-up comedy? I realized I don't even know. Like, what do Polish stand-up comics talk about? Like, how many Americans does it take to tell a Polish joke?
There you go. Michael says Henning Wen is a funny German comedian.
I believe you.
I probably mispronounced that.
Anyway, I want to see them all. I want to see, like, I don't know, somebody doing stand-up in Laotian.
Ronnie says they joke about cabbage.
The Germans?
No, you said what do Polish or Polish stand-up comedians?
See, look at me. I'm just going to reveal all my cultural ignorance. I was pretty sure the Germans are into cabbage.
Possibly. Hey, Will, we've been doing this for almost...
Sauerkraut's cabbage, right?
Yes.
Hey, what do you call a German with no sense of humor? A sauerkraut.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Will. All right. We have been doing this for 3 hours and 40 minutes tonight. Anything else you want to share with everybody before we call?
Oh, yeah. So.
Oh, yeah.
I got a story. You guys want to hear a story? Oh, this was fun, man. Hey, thanks everybody for sticking around.
Yeah, it's been a long night. Lots of announcements, lots of discussion.
Oh man, that Jay Harris set. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Been waiting for the standard. so many, the world is engulfed in chaos.
Literally.
And it's so nice that that we have these folks, these labels that are working really hard to preserve great cinema. And I mean that. I'm not kidding. Politics are politics, and we all need to fight for what we think is right. But art is art, and even Wayne's World 2 deserves a chance to be seen. I don't know. I can't speak to Crocodile Dundee, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be with you all. So thanks a lot.
Y'all are amazing. If you want to hang out more, come hang out in the Discord. We got a lot of people there. We'd love to have you. Got a good show planned for next week. Friend that hasn't been back in a while.
This one.
Yeah, friend's going to be here next week named Jennifer. That was a joke.
Who is it going to be? For real, though?
It is Dustin Putman next week.
If you'd said Jennifer Putman, that would have been.
Oh, yeah. It'll be a good show. Can't wait to hang out with Dustin.
Cool. You know, I've never met Dustin. We should rectify that.
Yes, we should. Dustin lives, I believe, kind of out by you, at least within a couple hours drive.
Well, don't say it out loud.
I'll just read his address out. 1 second.
Give them their privacy.
All right. So, yeah, we'll see you all next Thursday. It's been a crazy week. If you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I know that everybody needs somebody, and happy to be that person for anybody. Will, I love you, buddy. It's been a wild one for us for multiple reasons. And
everybody needs somebody.
Thank you for putting up with all that.
But who might it be? That's the problem.
On that note, I think we just kind of need to leave. So have a good night. We'll see you next time. See ya. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share with someone else that may appreciate this.
Hello! This is Matt.
And Emily from Scarecrow Video in Seattle, Washington. Did you know that we have the largest video collection in the world? We have over 146,000 titles and growing. That's over 3 times more than Netflix, Amazon, Max, and Hulu combined.
Plus, Scarecrow now offers rent-by-mail service throughout the U.S., so check out scarecrowvideo.org for details. You can catch Emily and I, or Matt and I, if that was going to be you saying that, on our bi-weekly YouTube show, Viva Physical Media, for video recommendations and so much more.
See ya!
Bye!
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description